Welcome everybody to today's stream. Hello. Good morning. So, what do we have up for today? Here we are. Let's do some daily raids. And then we have a lot of other things here as well. And just morning, chill, relax gaming. And if you have any questions as usual, just let us know here in chat. I can answer hopefully most of them. If not, then I'm sorry. But we will try. And yeah, it's been a while, but this is exciting times. So they actually update the fashion templates. I'm looking forward to that. Sadly, not as fast as everybody hoped, but we also got some news about World vs. World with the blog post from yesterday. Interesting, very interesting, updating the scoring system. I made a whole video about it, and yeah, what can I say? I'm actually excited about this more than the fashion templates personally, but that's just because I don't interact with them that much. But what do you think? Is that something that looks promising? Do you think it's we have to see how it works out? But I'm just happy that they actually introduce some kind of transparency, some kind of interaction, communication with us about their plans, their beta events, their updates, and their iterations on the systems. We have to see. So it's quick play time. So, or not quick play. It's more first the raid bounties, and later we will do some quick play. And I think it's Old Lions Court day. Yeah, raid bounty, Old Lions Court, and then it will in quick play, Old Lions Court, Old Lions Court, Old Lions Court. I did how many quick plays did I do? I have 14 at this point. I want to finish them today. So for the relics here. So I get 14 quick plays, and I think out of those 14, I got, I think, I don't want to lie here, but I think it was 4 Old Lions Court. And this is one of the worst in my opinion to get, because a lot of times people just don't know where to CC, which is not a problem if you tell them, but it can be really annoying if they just ignore you. Okay, I guess we just... They're ignoring ready check. That's already a good sign for the raid. What do we have? Old Lions Court, Frame of Chomek, this one here, and Soulless Horror. I think Soulless Horror is the hardest one. That's why I'm going here for Thief, for Spectre, because it's really good on Soulless Horror. We will see how it works out. Welcome everybody. Hope you all had a nice week and have now a nice weekend. That's what I hope here. So what do we have? I think we should be fine here with our group. It's always a bit of a struggle if your group is running in and we're not ready. That's always annoying. I expect, to be honest, if you have some kind of kill proof for specific bosses and stuff, and you are required, not like quick play, then I think it should be a given that you wait for the ready check, but apparently people cannot wait. And it's fine, that's fine. Here I should not be top DPS. That's not a perfect condition based boss. But it's okay, We don't need to be top DPS all the time, we just want to play it safe. We have a lot of CC here, that's why I like Spectre so much. And we were not even that bad, so it's fine. So I'm here, if you're wondering, in my build guide I was going for Thief's Guild, and I was going for prepare 1000 Needles Trap, or whatever it's called. And here, if a boss is moving too much, this is not that much the case here, but it's more the case with Soulless Horror later. You really want to get something that is not as impactful on just stationary targets and not stationary targets. So that's why we are going here like this, and it should be good. And of course, Basilisk Venom is insane CC, probably the best CC skill in the game. If you have 5 allies around you, it's insane. So it's really valuable in fights like this, or especially Soulless Horror. If you have if you react in time, you will probably just carry your group CC by just being there and pressing the button at the right time. So that's good, and you have some stability in the kit baseline. I really like Spectre. You can see I don't really have to sell it here, but it's just such a good class. Playing this as a DPS build is just really like strong. Welcome. Yeah, sure. Always ask a question. If you, I cannot promise you that I will have the answer to it, but I will try. Yeah, welcome, welcome, Kaspers. So there we go. Yeah, this is more of a power boss, I have to be honest, but it's fine. It's fine. We have a lot of utility here. Like I said, you can even go for Well of Gloom and go for more like healing for your allies instead of Well of Gloom. Rather go for Well. How's it called? The scale. No, not scale. Some kind of venom. Yeah, that also helps your allies. This is more like self-heal in the shadow step. Can be useful. So how do you like the new raid system? Is it like something that you engage with daily, or is it just something that you don't care about? If it's like open world player only, then it's completely fine that you don't care about it. But for me, as someone that actually did daily Iceblood Saga strike missions every single day beforehand, now I'm not doing them every single day anymore, so that's a sad thing. But I'm doing raids now every day, so that's a little bit more of a fun like interaction change. I think it would have been cool if we would have like the daily Iceblood Saga strike mission would have still been a lot of value. Now it seems more like it's okay, but it's not like crazy value anymore. I'm looking to make a ranger build for open world content. Which spec would you recommend going for? I would say if you want to play open world in a solo scenario, so you want to be alone and you want to tackle everything and you don't care if there are allies around or not, then it's the best for going for Untamed. Untamed is, in my opinion, the best solo build out there for ranger right now. Yeah. Typically, I would recommend Power, because Power is just straight up really strong in easy fights and can be very strong on Untamed even in harder fights. But if you want to play safer, then you can go the Celestial route and go a Condi Untamed. They have a build guide up on my channel. You can just type !builds and you will get a link to the website where you can check out what kind of build you're looking for and you will find it there. But in general, I would say Condition Untamed is, or Celestial in general, not only Untamed, but in Celestial Ranger is extremely valuable if you fight hard content alone and you just don't want to die. It might be a bit slower than Power Untamed, but okay, here I definitely don't go Spectre. That would be a grieving here. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. But if you really want to get the most amount of damage and the most amount of utility, typically I would recommend going for Power Untamed because it's extremely strong with maces and stuff like that. But Untamed is probably the king of Ranger right now if you want to play solo. If you are in a group scenario as well, so meta events and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. You can play Soul Beast, you can play Untamed. Quickness Untamed is really good for that, for example, because it deals some damage, you have some support for your allies. I would not go any Celestial route typically, because that's a little bit overkill in a lot of situations, but yeah. Seen all your build guides for those already? Got an Ascended Circus set on my Thief already. Would you say Power Untamed will work? Yes, that's then probably the best bet that you can do. Just use the set that you have on Thief, use it on your Untamed, and use some kind of like defensive weapons like maces, and you have a really good build that works very well in a group situation and works very well in a solo situation, because you have, so to say, some sustain with your base weapons and stuff like that. So I personally think that is the perfect fit there. But of course, you also have to like it. So try to, so to say, try it out, see how it goes. You know, you never know. Some people like really dislike having a lot of buttons, having the pet control and stuff like that. Some people don't mind that. No, don't CC. What the fuck is going on? I thought this is like an experience group. At least no one died, but that's like next tier trolling. If you do that in the last second of this like attack, you one-shot everybody. It's insane. Yeah, classic old line squad. But like I said, I think you should like a spec, and then you can like play it. If you don't like the look of it, if you just say someone said this is the spec that you should play because it's really strong and you don't enjoy playing it, I think it's a wrong choice for you. Yeah. Power Untamed with a different setup will also work on other content? Yes. Power Untamed is a very strong class right now. You can play as a quick DPS. You can even play it as a full DPS. Power Untamed is really a class right now that is highly valuable in group content. It's very good in solo content. It's just all around quite good. I would not recommend playing it as a healer, even though that's possible as well. It's not the best right now. Oh my god, they all instantly CC. Is that the new strategy or what? I guess it could be. Maybe they just want to make sure that everyone knows that we should not stand in this area. I guess that's also a valid strategy if you do it every time. Made it to 80 yesterday and then went ahead and fully unlocked all 4 elite specs. Nice, that's good. Good progress there. Green first. There we go. I mean, if you have a decent group, the damage here is like you're waiting more for the mechanics to actually work out than actually dealing damage to the bosses. That's why challenge mode exists, I guess, yeah. What's the best healer build for CM Fractals? Exclude 100. I would say Troubadour is extremely strong. I would say Chronomancer is still very strong. I would say like Luminary is really good. Even Paragon at this point is actually a good healer. I think you should choose, like, tell me what kind of class you are looking for to play, and then I can tell you the best healer, because there are so many good ones right now. It's really like you should play the one that you enjoy, because I would say Luminary and Troubadour and Chronomancer, they are almost on the same level. There is almost no like reason to not pick it. Maybe because of the vigor uptime that Luminary lacks a bit, that can be a bit of an issue, but in a lot of situations, oh my god, they did it again. How many pillars do we lose? None? That's good. Why do they do that? It's like they are grieving so hard. So if you're watching this and don't know what's going on, Old Lions Court Strike Mission, there's a lot of break bars, and you only need to break like a couple of them when every single of the knights is down. Yeah, so don't overdo it. Don't break every single break bar. It's really, really important that you don't, because if you break every single break bar, your group will hate you. And this is like, here, someone is really overdoing it, to be honest. If we break this, it will change the pattern again, meaning that if we do it in the last second, we might be in the wrong side of the pattern. And we might all die. Because it's a one-shot, you cannot avoid it. So that's also the thing that kills people in quick play. Okay. Yeah, always happy to help, always happy to... Yeah, Chronomancer is still top tier. Like, if you played it before, it's still top tier. It's obviously not as broken as it was before, but it's still like highest of highest. So yes, Chronomancer is a like valid top pick, but I would say it's not the only one. You can now play Troubadour, Luminary, like a lot of different other ones that are still very, very good as well for a lot of players. What role does Troubadour fit best in if I want to make one? Troubadour like is in competitive modes mostly played as a healer. In PvE, Troubadour is mostly played as either like a quick DPS or as a full healer as well. You can play like DPS Troubadour and that works okay as well, but it's in my opinion more like a utility pick than anything else. So I would say Troubadour typically shines in the support, maybe offensive support, but it's really like a support class typically. And you can even make a solo build out of it. I think Troubadour is very flexible, so it's a quickness support most of the time though. So Alacrity is not possible with it, and I would say full DPS Troubadour is okay. It's not absolute like Giga God tier. Yeah. Welcome, Viz. Welcome, welcome. Do you have any spicy builds for World vs. World that I can cook up later? I was like thinking about going for some kind of Todd Evoker in World vs. World and have some really annoying build to like Condi Todd Evoker or something like that. Let's see what we can make work later. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this strike mission, like people I like to CC here. I don't know why. If I play any other strike mission, any other boss, any other open world event, it feels like no one wants to CC. But in this strike mission, like CCing is like they see the blue bar and insta CC. Like I would want that in every other event and boss fight, just not this one. I don't know why. I really would like to know why this is the case here. Does the Druid fit in the game at the moment? So Druid is really good in World vs. World in a Circ as a healer. It is not something that I would recommend like having 10 of in a Circ, but if you have like a couple of them, it's extremely valuable. If you, however, like talk about PvP and roaming in World vs. World, that's not something that I would recommend. There it's not that good. In PvE, Druid is a staple as a healer. You can also play it as a DPS, but that's more like you have to be a real tryhard to make that work. So I personally would say it's a support in World vs. World and in PvE. Celestial Condi Todd Walker with Traveler Rune? Cheesecake for might and boon duration. It's fun. Ah, that sounds quite close. I didn't like have the cheesecake in my mind, but everything else I was actually like quite similar thought. Yeah, process. Yeah, I really don't like to spread builds that are just annoying to fight, but I really want to try this one because like the Todd is just such a funny, just a funny like familiar, to be honest, to play with. And it's so broken, to be honest. It's so broken. See, seeing and having barrier on the same attack. Oh yes, that is like looking good. Got my material bank limit up to 1,500 units. What should I do with the materials that are still in my inventory? So you can, of course, go here and press the deposit all button. If you have done it already and the materials are still not going in because some of them don't go in, or you have already full, then I would just empty it and sell the materials that is overflowing. Yeah. Oh, Frame of Charmac, very good. Druid for arena PvP, not really recommended. For structured PvP, I think Druid is like, it can be okay as a side noder, but it's more often just inferior to everything that is currently played. Druid is annoying to deal with, but it's not really good in PvP. So I would say, yeah, if you really like it, go for it. But you cannot play it really as a support, it's too weak there. And as a side noder, it's just not really the meta for it. So I would say not a good pick, sadly. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a question here in German. So how much do I get from the like affiliate stuff? I cannot really say that, but I'm really happy with, like, so to say, the shares. So if you want to support me using my referral link, is always a very good option there. Exclamation mark buy in the Twitch chat for that, and it doesn't cost you anything more, so it's like just always a positive for everybody, I would say. Yeah, the demon relic, yeah. I think that is such a cool concept that you run an elementalist that has like baseline no access to poison with a few exceptions on the catalyst, and you run this specific setup with Demon Queen Relic because you have so much CC that you actually apply a very decent amount of poison. It's such a fun concept. I think the sad part is in PvP it doesn't really work that well because it's just really short duration, you don't have boon duration, you don't have expertise and stuff like that. But in World vs. World, oh yes, I really see that one being like good. Yeah. Always happy to help, always happy to help. If you have any questions, just ask. I cannot promise you anything that I know everything and can answer it, but I will try. I will try. So, what is the last boss? Soulless Horror. Okay, yeah, let's see how this one goes. It's probably by far the hardest one out of the ones that we did today. And then we have to do some quick play. I'm already excited for quick play. I really, like, to be honest, quick play in the beginning was quite fast because a lot of like veterans like me did do quick play. But now I really feel like the quick play is filled with new players, which is fine. It just takes way longer than for veteran to see. Oh no, we didn't get the Spirit Nova. Not good. It's fine. There we go. Once again. That build is really broken, but I have to say, I missed the absurd amount of Condi cleanse from Tempest. Yeah, I think that is, like, I noticed that in PvP specifically, if I play this Condi Evoker build, if you play against, for example, a Mirage, which is not a meta pick right now, if you play against a Mirage, a Condi Mirage specifically, I die within seconds, because the Condis that they apply consistently, it's just like, I cannot deal with them. It's just impossible for me to actually survive, because the confusion, oh my god, confusion against Elementalist. If you don't know this, Elementalist is like hard countered by confusion, and especially a Condi Mirage applies so much confusion, very like bursty in a very like short succession. It's really hurting. Yeah, I played this build, I won every 101, I even won a 1v2 in a match yesterday, I think, and this Mirage kept farming me. They came in, I died within 5 seconds. Because I have a Condi cleanse, sure, I have multiple Condi cleanses, but if I use them and I get like 5 Condis at the same time, I just get like spiked from the confusion anyway, even if I cleanse the confusion after a few ticks. It's actually really like horrifying, to be honest. Yeah. What is the strongest weapon combo for Gale Shot in PvP? So I would go with longbow rather, for Gale Shot all the time. Like longbow is quite like a must almost. And then I would say mace is good, sword mace is good, sword warhorn is good, something like that. So you have, so to say, your longbow with a like really nice damage output, AoE from range and stuff like that. And then you have your utility set for Gale Shot, like Sword for mobility, Warhorn for utility with like movement speed and CC and some damage, or you swap the for maces, yeah, one of them, both of them, so that you have some kind of CC, some kind of barrier access, Condi cleansing and stuff like that. That is what I would recommend. But to be honest, this is more like Gale Shot you play because of the Gale Shot bow. And this is something that you notice a lot on the new specs. You can play almost every single weapon on the newer specs. That doesn't mean they have not a meta pick, but you pick what you like the most. So some people like to even run Ache's main hand because it has some good range damage as well. It really heavily depends on what is your favorite playstyle. But this is what I would say. Longbow and probably sword and stuff like that. So CC coming up soon. Let's be ready. It's just normal mode. Not too scary here, not too scary. Oh, that is a bit scary, to be honest. That's not a good, like, not good. Should be going there. We lost 2 people for that. Not good. That might have... Yeah, we lost the tank. We should reset. Yeah, the classic. Yeah, SH. You know, it's not a hard fight, but if like the pusher phase or we kill the how is it called, the golem or whatever too fast, that is painful. Welcome, Syrma. Welcome. Yeah, hope you all had a very nice week and nice that you have here to... Interesting. So apparently only 3 people in the squad, someone wrote, have the KP that they actually ask for. That's a problem. You will see. On Tempest, you basically have Condi cleanse by just pressing buttons. In Evoker, the struggle is real, and I have to avoid Condi Mesmer, Condi Remnants, and Condi Harp. Yeah, I think on, like, Tempest is the only Elementalist spec where Condi cleanse, maybe with the exception of, like, some kind of Water Weaver, but who plays Water Weaver? It's like the most important part. We lost our heal. That's not good. It's not good. We lost a lot of people, to be honest. So the problem is Evoker, Weaver, and like those classes, Catalyst as well, they rely on single Condi cleanses over the course of time. And if you don't spam them hard enough, Confusion still kills you. And oh my god. Okay, I guess we that's it. That's it. That's how fast the squad disabandons. No, not good. Not good. Okay, I mean, I guess that's that. Let's do some other things then. What do we want to do? Some dailies. But yeah, like Tempest, that's what I want to say. Tempest is a spec that is the only Elementalist spec that actually has enough cleanses to make it work. That you have like consistent Condi cleanse spam. With the auras, with like every single time you apply that, you get Region, which cleanses conditions. So you have some really, really good like synergies there that make Tempest the only Elementalist spec that can deal with heavy condition pressure over the course of like, let's say 30 seconds very well. Evoker can cleanse a few conditions in like a couple of seconds as well. But as soon as this is over and you lost your Condi cleanse, you will be on some kind of like drought of Condi cleanses for the next few seconds. And then if you get spiked with Confusion, if you get spiked with Torment, it's almost a death sentence. So I really see why you would go actually for Tempest in the current meta. If you fight a lot of like amalgams, if you fight like just all the things that are applying condition pressure, Condi Harbinger, Condi like Revenant. There are so many Condi builds right now that just apply a lot of pressure. And if you cannot deal with that, you just straight up lose. Is that the Spectre build? Yes, that is the Spectre build I was using. Sadly, I couldn't showcase it longer. It's just like the group just said, no, we don't do this boss anymore. And that's why I couldn't showcase it longer, but it was exactly this build, yes. It's extremely strong, very like flexible, has good range damage, and I like the utility, like CC, barrier, stability, everything as a DPS build. I mean, you know, don't tell me more, that's it. I played it. Liked your updated video on the updated meta for PvE, all Guardian specs in S tier for DPS, Renet's favorite child lives on. Yeah, I mean, I like to like not be too, so to say, biased towards something, but I think almost everybody would agree that Guardian is like right now extremely strong. Like every single spec is extremely strong. But yeah, I think that will not change that much in the next few things. And I'm happy that you like my updated, like, so to say, PvE meta stuff, because I have one this weekend coming up as well for PvP specifically. Yeah. Yeah, and exactly, you don't even need Water on Tempest because you have the Fire trait as well, and Tempest trait line gives so much as well. It's just crazy how much value Tempest has baseline with Conduit Cleanses, yeah. Yeah, glad that you like that. Yeah. What do you think about Downstate in World vs. World? Don't you think it's a broken mechanic, needs to be reconsidered? I think it's a broken mechanic in every game mode, Downstate. It's a unique mechanic. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad mechanic, but it is really something that completely changes how you interact. For example, in raids. Imagine we had, for example, a tournament by Mighty T-Bot in the past, where we did not have to go Downstate. And that goes the same for raids now with the, so to say, the specific achievement where you cannot go Downstate. And you know, there is also some kind of World vs. World thing where you, like, it's a week or some kind of now Downstate week. That is quite fun. So you kill enemies instantly or you die instantly if you go in Downstate. This is really interesting. You can see how fast and how punishing the game would be if you don't have Downstate. So I agree with you that in World vs. World, to be honest, especially in Zergs, it would give a lot more punishment and a lot more fast-pacedness to Zerg fighting. But it would also remove some kind of, how can I say, some kind of interesting uniqueness to Guild Wars 2's combat in World vs. World. You know, you have the Downstate manipulation, you have some attacks that actually revive allies, you have some attacks, especially on Mesmer, you have, like, how is it called? Illusion of Life, where you can temporarily revive allies. This is a very unique thing. Tell me one other MMO that has something like that. I agree with you that it's broken, but I think it's very interesting. So I'm not sure if what would be better, to have something that is broken in the game or to have something that is like broken and remove it and then have a rather like boring game that is not too interesting. I think it's really hard, the decision. I personally see both sides, to be honest. Yeah. What are the specs that can push Flash Golems in Soulless Horror except Druid? You can play Engineer. Engineer has a lot of pushes, like Mechanist with Rival or something like that. You can play Mesmer even. Mesmer has some push as Virtuoso, and you can pull with, for example, or like Greatsword has push or stuff like that. Mesmer has a lot of utilities in the pull, and Focus has a pull that you can pull it away. So that is good things. Guardian has a push if you play with Hammer, for example. You can play a Hammer Firebrand as a heal tank, for example, and push it away because you have such a long range push there. Almost every class, like Warrior has a pushback on Berserker. Every class has access to a push that is good enough for Soulless Horror, but you have to know how to use it. And I would say Druid is just the easiest to use. You know, that's why a lot of people use it, because it's a good healer and it doesn't really lose anything for going for pushes. If you, for example, go for Mesmer with like pulls, pushes and stuff like that, it's almost like the whole build is set up around this. So yeah, not ideal. But you could also do it on a Spectre, for example. Spectre doesn't really have pushes, but you could, for example, use a Shadow Step, teleporting away or like out of the group, and then using Scorpion Wire to pull the golem to you, and then you Shadow Step back. That is a really weird thing to do, but that could work as well. So like every class has a way to deal with this mechanic of the golems. It's just you have to think about it more than using a Druid a lot of the times. Yeah, hope that answers your question. What builds would you say are S tier using Celestial, or are there any? Oh my god, there are a lot of them, yeah. If you are talking about like group PvE and not only open world, so open world, I would say every single class has S tier Celestial builds, every single one of them. If you're talking about group play as well, then I would say Firebrand is really good. Then I would say Mechanist is decent. I would say like Herald can be okay. I would say Scourge is extremely strong. Spectre is really good. They all have, every class has a rather decent build. Paragon is really good with Celestial. So there are a lot of them. I might even do another updated tier list. I did the last one like, I don't know, 8 months ago, about what is the best Celestial support. Yeah, so we might do that in the future again. Talking about Killproof, that's a choice, to be honest. I see it multiple times, people wanting 250 KP for Bone Skinner. How? It's like a DPS golem with barely any mechanics. I mean, I have to be honest, I agree with you. I think it's so easy, you should not ask for Killproof for Bone Skinner. But I also have to be honest, I met groups that actually died to Bone Skinner like 5 times in a row, and the squad like abandoned the run. I met that as well. So I can understand both sides. You know, people want to have experienced people with them. I'm not sure if Killproof is the way to do that, to guarantee that you have experienced people with you. But I think it can be very frustrating if you die to Bone Skinner 5 times, because like everybody is just blind and doesn't like dodge the attacks or avoid the attacks by sidestepping. That is, yeah, like I said, I can understand both sides, but there should be a better system than using like Killproof for getting experience, to be honest. To showing experience, rather. I was thinking about playing Guild Wars 2 and it clicked your stream and I'm watching you kill balloons, and now I remember how stupid this game is. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it's just a daily right now. I mean, every single MMO has weird dailies. That's just how it goes. You know, I did some raids earlier that looked, in my opinion, way more interesting, but everybody has different opinions, you know. When you do solo roaming, which I'm always am, versus outnumbered, downstate is literally unbalanced. I mean, revive time is too short, down HP is a lot. Yeah, I agree. I think if you are like outnumbered roaming, especially there, I agree. Like downstate is something that is extremely strong in outnumbered roaming. Because even if you get 1, maybe even 2 kills, they might not be real kills because they just get revived. So that is something that is extremely, like, so to say, strong for the opponents. They get a big advantage by being able to resurrect each other. But on the other hand, I think if you play around it, you can even like bait people into resing and then CC chaining them or cleaving them down, and you might actually get a kill because of that as well. So I agree with you. I think downstate is extremely frustrating if you play in a roaming scenario, specifically in outnumbered. But you can also use it to your advantage. I think it always depends on the situation. I had so many times where I killed someone because of downstate, but I also had probably more times where I lost because of someone else going downstate, and then they rallied or they had someone resurrect them and didn't get punished for being, so to say, overly aggressive in a 1v2, 1v3, something like that. Yeah, that's I agree. It's just how it goes, I guess. I think they will not remove downstate. Maybe they will make some kind of adjustment, like an event or something like that, but I think it's very unlikely that we will get like a permanent downstate removal of World vs. World. What do you think about the Kellat, the cute crab? I think it's a good fight. It's not the best fight, but it's a decent fight. I'm happy with it. When you use the affiliate link, is it true that the ad blocker will block it? So I think they fixed it. I'm pretty sure they fixed that, so it should not be the case anymore. I still wrote it there in the description and stuff because I personally think it's not completely like, I'm not 100% sure, and it would be a shame if you want to support me and then you use ad block and I don't get anything for it. That would be a bit sad, but I think it should be fixed. I am 90% certain that it's fixed. Yeah, that you should be able to use just the referral link and you will be fine, even if you were using ad block. Yeah. Imagine having an epic 1vx, you're down 2, 3, or even 4 people. Guess what? They revive from NPC. Yeah, I think, to be honest, this is the worst part. That you can actually rally, you know? That you can rally from NPCs. I think if they would remove that, I would actually be less opposed to the specific, like, downstate in World vs. World. Because rallying from a guard in a camp is so, like, it's really like, you outplayed someone and they just are lucky that there is an NPC nearby. That is so painful. It really is. And yeah, I think if they would remove that, it would be better, but I still agree it's not the best, the most interesting thing to have, for sure. Welcome, Haldir. Welcome. How are you doing today? Did you see the Solo Harvest Temple? Yeah, I saw it. Impressive. Quite good. New player question. What would be more fit for a new player? Daredevil or Deadeye? I think Daredevil is probably a bit better if you like some kind of melee combat. If you like range combat with pistol, for example, I think Deadeye is slightly better, or with a rifle even. But I think both of them are not like perfect. And it's hard to say. For group content, they are really good as a new player. But for open world, I think they can be a bit more like punishing. Thief is a class with rather low HP pool baseline, and it's a medium armor class, so it doesn't have the highest toughness or armor baseline. So I personally would say it's a good choice for new player, and it's a really strong one at that, but it's not like, it's just, there's always something to learn. So you might die. Some people say, oh, Thief is like very punishing if you die very fast, or you die very fast if you get hit a lot of times. So Yeah, I think it heavily depends on what you like. If you like Thief, go for it. If you're looking for as like the most easy class to play, I think it's up there, but it's not the absolute easiest. Yeah. So let's do some ranked. Let's see what we get. What do we want to play in ranked for daily? Let's play some Evoker. Yeah, I think it's very unlikely that they will remove downstat. I think it's just, it doesn't seem like reasonable, but I think nerfing it or making it a bit more punishing in especially World versus World, maybe roaming scenarios, like especially with like rallying from NPCs and stuff like that, that would be good. I don't know how to do it. I'm not a developer. I can come up with like ideas, but I think they have to come up with something that works well. I think a lot of the players are not really caring that much about it. I have to be honest. I think it's just like the roaming group is actually talking about it, but I don't know. I think roaming is not something that is very mainstream. Not a lot of people roam, to be honest. I think that's something that I do. I think like this is doing all the time, but I don't know how many people here in chat are actually like roaming a lot. I would say the biggest amount of people that play Guild Wars 2 play PvE specifically, only, exclusively. And then you have a decent amount of players that play World versus World, but they mostly play for Zerg fights. And the roamers is really like just a very small fraction, I would guess. I'm looking for a low intensity build, decent for solo open world. I thought these might be okay. Yeah, they are good. They are good if you're like, I would say for solo play, I would say Daredevil might be a bit better. I don't know. Both of them are crazy good. Like Deadeye can be played with Dagger as a solo build, and you can play it in a group as a Condi build or power build as well. I would say probably for a low intensity build, Pistol Deadeye for open world and group content is probably your best bet. It's extremely strong. Yeah, it's really easy. You can actually press like no buttons and it still does 30k DPS. It's really fun. So it's a really low intensity build that works even in open world as well. I have build guides about every like one of the builds that I mentioned here. So I guess probably Data is your pick then, yeah. And I'm honest, if they already add waypoints to keeps in World versus World without need to upgrade it, they can remove downstat and rework revive abilities like Banner to maybe revive fully dead people. That is interesting. I mean, that would be very interesting. I like the ideas of having like abilities to revive allies. I think that's cool, but I think it would be really broken if it would be able to revive completely dead people. But I think you had to rebalance it, of course, if you remove downstat for sure. Yeah. I personally agree. I think now no downstat events in World vs. World, also for Zerging, is awesome. It makes it way more punishing. You can spike enemies, and if you just have one big spike, you kill the enemy group. It doesn't matter if they would go downstat normally because they're instantly dead. I think that is something that is really good point, yeah. I think that would be awesome. I'm not sure if they will ever do it though, because I think it's like a safety net for new players to not get punished too hard. You know, a new player that just dies instantly all the time, I think they might actually not enjoy having permanent no downstat in World vs. World. That's my take there. Okay, I guess I go. Still practicing heal chrono, it's so much fun, but still struggling with burst healing. Is this achieved through shedding or casting Rifle 3 early? Yes, exactly. So if you are playing like, oh, we have a 1-on-1 here against the Soul Beast. Interesting. Not very scary, to be honest. Or did I almost block the thing? I wanted to block it with my 2 because it's blocking projectiles. This is not a scary matchup. Yeah, so healing on Chronomancer. Chronomancer is not the best healer in terms of healing output. It's just straight up. But of course, using a Rifle 3, double tapping it, very importantly. Then, oh, this guy is just like, I'm so sorry, I just killed you very fast. And then you want to use your shatters if you have them, but don't waste them, of course. If you don't need all of them, don't use all of them. That's good healing. And then you, of course, don't forget that you have like barrier with your Rifle 5 that can be helping for Chronomancer to negate damage if you know there will be damage incoming. And other than that, your Wells heal at the end, your Mantras heal if you have multiple Mantras. Stuff like that can be very good. Maybe we get the rest here. Oh, I wanted to get the stability because I saw I got hit by it, but I was too slow. But yeah, that would be my recommended way. But in general, I agree with you. Like Chronomancer is not known for its like insane amount of healing. That's just how it is. It's not known for the healing output. It's a good healer because of its utility, but it's not like, for example, like Tempest has insane healing. Even like Revenant, for example, the new Revenant spec Conduit healer has probably one of the best healing outputs in the entire game because it's just extremely like spammy and you spam Ventari skills like crazy. But I think that is not required for most situations, I have to be honest. I think I will go for decap here. Now we have already someone there. How many people are here? 4 people? I only do World versus World. I had PvP and don't roam either. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, this guy is CC chained, my friend. I like this so much. It's so good. I have to dodge at some point, to be honest. Let's go for the cap here, I guess. There we go. Most people play MMOs to unwind. World vs. World Cirque is so chill. I agree. I liked it a lot. I play Cirque like if I had a crazy busy day and stuff and just go into World vs. World, play Cirque for like just not having to like be extremely like, how is it called? Aware of everything. Yeah, I think that is definitely something that is for most people the case, yeah. But I can understand the arguments from especially like people that play a lot of World vs. World Cirques that no downstate brings way more excitement because it makes the fights a bit faster, a bit more punishing and more interesting to deal with. I'm not sure if that would stay the case forever or if it's just because it's something new or something that is not always the case with the event that people like that like different thing than usual. Oh my god, it interrupted me again. Is that unblockable or what? So sad because that is like blocks missiles, but apparently I'm always mistiming it. So sad. It's fine, doesn't matter. But yeah, I agree. I think no downstate is definitely an interesting balance thing to consider for sure. Reduce stomp time, increase resurrection time, reduce downed HP. Yeah, I think the downed HP is the thing that I'm the most worried about. Like in World vs. World, downed HP, if people play like Trailblazer stuff, you're so tanky. Like it looks like you never die. Like at least it feels like it. Yeah. Alternatively, add an instant finisher skill or even class only World vs. World viability. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but I think that would be interesting. Maybe try it out in some kind of beta event and stuff like that, see how people like it and improve it from there. I think that's how you always should do stuff that you change in World vs. World specifically. Should never say, this is how it is from now on. You should always try to make it so that it's actually something that is like slowly iterated on with the feedback of players. Oh, this guy has an resurrection. That's fine. It's so much fun. You can carry so massively in practice with Heal Chronomancer, plus the increasingly rare buff stability. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really good. And I think it's just people say, oh, it got nerfed so much. Yeah, it got nerfed, but it was so good that in the end, to be honest, it's still extremely strong because it was so... And you should play what is fun. And this definitely is the case for Heal Chronomancer. I agree. I agree. Glad I could convert someone to play a Heal Chronomancer. Yeah, that's always, I'm always happy to see that. Did interrupt here? No. Block, of course, random block. A bit annoying with the immobilize here. Willbender is so bad right now. It's like, it's actually insane. Willbender in the current meta is like as a roamer, yes, or as a bruiser, but not as the full DPS build. Let's go for decap again. Classic, the classic. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think public circs are chill and like open text and stuff like that, but of course if you're going for raids with like really organized circs and like perfect subgroups and stuff, then it can be a bit more stressful for sure. As a new player, should I get Legendary Trinket, Bag Accessory first? And after that, focus on armor set and weapon. I think like legendary trinkets can be worthwhile if you play a lot of different builds, a lot of different classes, and then going for the armor. That would be my way. But if you only play one class and one build, I think go for the thing that you actually get some look, some fashion that you would actually use. So for example, if you go for the armor and you would really like to use the armor set, then for the skin, yeah, that's completely like makes sense as well. I think it heavily depends on the chat is always like arguing with me what is the best way to play around getting which legendary first. I think it heavily depends on the player. I cannot give you an argument for you have to always go for this one first, but trinkets make sense in my opinion. Welcome, Nick. Welcome, welcome. I'm a beginner and maybe I'm still... it's a stupid question. Don't worry, don't worry. I will try to answer it nonetheless. I'm average. How much... In average, how much percent the difference between S tier to an A tier healer? I would say in PvE specifically, it's like the percentage difference, like 5% or something. So if you play an A tier healer instead of an S tier healer, you will still be able to clear every single piece of content if you know how to deal with the mechanics. In competitive modes, it's a bit different because competitive modes are a bit more like you really want to have something that is like dealing with specific things in the meta really well. So for example, right now Paragon in PvP is extremely strong because it just has a lot of value. And I would say there the difference is more like 20% if you are going from S to A tier healer. But in PvE, I personally think it's really not that high. It's more like if you know the mechanics, that's good enough. I almost got the decap here. That would have been so funny. Let's go for that. Get some healing here. Oh, the pull. Dodge the pull. So, you see the tankiness of this build? Oh yes, it's really tanky. But I have to be a bit careful with all the conditions that this amalgam is applying. So I hope I could answer your question there, but I think in general it matters way more that you understand the mechanics and the fights that you are dealing with or the role that you want to fill in competitive modes, for example, rather than playing an S tier healer. I think A tier healers are completely fine as well in almost every single situation. Maybe not if you want to win a monthly AT though, for example, in PvP. But that's the rare exceptions, I would say. Yeah, I think trinkets is probably the way to go. Yeah, legendary trinkets. Would say chest and legs are the most important. Legendary is to go first. Why? Fashion? Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, fashion can be a very valid concern. Please get the kill here and get the rally here. No, we don't get the rally, of course. Why would we? We get the rest here. Exactly, it was Snowdrop's fault, always. It doesn't matter what it was, but it was his fault, for sure, for sure. Yeah. But if you have any other questions, just ask. You know, I'm really happy to talk about stuff, especially about new players, how to help them and stuff. Just let me know. Always happy to help. So that is a rather sad match. I didn't die once, did I? I didn't die once, and I'm still losing the match. Maybe not. We still have 5 minutes left. We are only 120 points or something behind. That is like winnable. I have to get this. No, we get too much pressure. Let's put this on point. No, we get denied. Put this on point. Ooh, get a nice cleave here. Ooh, that is nasty. That is nasty. That is actually a 5-person kill, maybe. Let's see. No, they got the glyph. Let's get the nice. We got another kill. Is that the comeback? Is that the comeback? Oh my god. That was surprisingly good, like, team fight here. We should get the kill here and the cap, but no one is capping far, like our close rather. And like mid, we should get caps here. Why are they not even capping here? What is going on? Crazy. What's the best way to max magic finds by Selvix and Ectos? So it depends what you define as best. So I have actually a video coming up about magic find. And I will go into very, very like deep territory. What is the best way to get magic find, to optimize it and stuff like that. Short answer, if you want to do it the fastest and most reliable way, ecto salvaging with a rare salvage kit is a very, very valid way. If you want to be, so to say, the cheapest, but you don't care about time, then it might be there might be other methods, but I personally would say for 99% of the players, just salvaging ectos to get the magic find for to 300 the account magic find is the way to do it, yes. Do you think that Conduit will take a hard nerf? I think Conduit will get a hard nerf as a power Conduit specifically. I think they will get like a hard nerf in like 10 to, let's say a 10 to 15% damage nerf, I would expect. But I don't know when, you know, it could still be like 2 months from now or 1 month when the next balance patch is hitting. I think the next one is due in April or something like that. So it could be like until then, until Conduit get nerfed. So we will have to see, So maybe we can hold the node here for a bit. Maybe. We got a kill. This guy just came here on node to die. I mean, it's still not lost, but it is looking very dire. We have 2 minutes left. Do we even have enough time on the timer to actually get this? No, we lost far again. Not good. Yeah, just made that Celestial Holosmith for PvE. Great fun, but I never see any others. Yeah, Celestial Holosmith is not like a common meta pick. It's a decent, you can play it, but it's not like insanely good. But if it's fun, that's good enough for you then, I guess, yeah. Welcome, Yuska. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? Yeah, welcome everybody. Oh my god. I didn't die this match, so hopefully we can, like, I don't know, my team is losing the other side of the map. Yeah, the classic, like, side-noting problem. You know, you can play as good as you want. If your team is losing the other side of the map, it doesn't help. That's why roamers have more impact in PvP typically than side-noters. It's fine, it's just I don't care about winning or losing that much. It's just I want to have fun. And it was a good showcase of the build, I have to be honest. Yeah, now it's lost for sure. Sad. I wonder if they will do something about the elite. I have no clue. I really don't know. I think they should like have a bit more hotfixes and stuff like coming up with balances. I think they are a bit like less lackluster in the last few weeks and months even. Okay, so that was a fun match, to be honest. Long match, but a fun one. Yeah, like look at top kills, no deaths. That's always not a good sign as a side noter. Okay, was fun. I would recommend rings for legendaries. Having 3 infusion slots without having to upgrade them every single time I want to do fractals is a good one. Yeah, I agree. There are a lot of valid arguments for going for rings, going for the amulet because it gives the most amount of stats, or the back piece because it's the most annoying one to actually get. There are so many arguments and things that you can actually consider and that you want to do, but you don't want to do. Hard to say, to be honest. So let's now do something that I wanted to do anyway. Maybe we will see. I wanted to do some. Let's see if it's actually up. Let's see. Before I talk about it. Maybe. Still recharging. Okay, then I'll like this. Sadly, it's not time yet. That's fine. Then let's get some quick play going. Let's see what we can do. I'm really scared about quick play, but yeah, let's try it. What do we get? Hopefully not Outline Squad. That's the only thing. Why is it? It's on cooldown. Okay. I guess it's on cooldown then. What? I didn't play quick play in the last days. Like what? Okay. Maybe we swap class. Maybe that helps. Who knows? How would you rate rifle low intensity power mechanists and fractals? I think it's I would say for tier 4 fractals it's okay because your group doesn't expect it to be like insanely like high bursty. If you I don't know, it's still on cooldown. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. Yeah, nerfed for quick play. I don't know what's the problem there. It's fine. Let's go into world versus world. But yeah, I personally would say it's decent in tier 4 because it has some nice range damage and stuff like that, but the burst damage is lacking, which is a bit, like for me, a bit of a concern. So I personally would say for like low to medium experience groups, that's not a problem. If you, however, are talking about like CMs and experience groups, I would not recommend rifle mechanists if you don't know exactly what you're doing. For ranged fights, it's fine, but if you have a lot of cleave, then it's not the best anymore. I don't know. I personally think it is like a A tier pick for me in most cases. Maybe B tier if you are in an experienced group. Yeah, Strength Spellbreaker has been so much fun in PvP. Yeah, like not only strength in general. Like you can play Paragon, Spellbreaker. They have so much value right now. It's actually surprisingly fun. Like how good Warrior is in PvP right now. If you're a Warrior fan, now is the time to play it for sure. Yeah. I left the party and that's why it's on cooldown. That's interesting, but I didn't even leave a quick play party. You know, it's why is it on? That's actually insane. And the party was like, it was not like I was kicked or anything. It was just like we disbanded. What? That's crazy. Maybe you're right. I don't know how it functions, and I think that is like it's still in my opinion somewhat in beta. To be honest, it's not perfect. They fixed it that you spawn dead now, but they fixed it by not like letting you spawn into instances at all. So it's more like a band-aid fix in my opinion than anything else. Yeah. Welcome, one big fat panda. Welcome. Do you have any ideas why I cannot see the instances for Back to the Past in Seasons of the Dragons Return to Eye of the North achievements at the Scrying Pool? So you have to have the story, I think, done to see it there. So if you have not done the story on this specific character, then you cannot see it on the Scrying Pool, as far as I remember. It has been ages since I did anything there, but I think that's how it works. Pretty sure this is how it works. Yeah. Welcome, Boxy. Welcome. I have problems getting in strike missions. Really? I mean, it's obviously they are not called strike missions anymore, but I think you're referring to raids. I think raids right now, if you look at just the number of people that actually like have stuff up, most of them don't even ask for kill proof or anything. Like here, like Merced Overseer, no kill proof, semi-training, like gate only, Freynia DPS. Then like there is a lot of times or weekly here, for example. There is not that many like times where it has never been that easy to get into raids in my opinion, because a lot of people are doing just the dailies, doing like the easy ones, doing like even the hard ones, and not caring that much about having kill proof or experienced people with them. I think you just have to look into raids, because that's what strike missions are now, and look for the ones that you are going for, and you will actually find people to play with. If you're looking for a specific all raid wing and you want to get better at it, training and stuff, I would recommend training discords like Crossroads in Raid Training Initiative and stuff like that. But that is just what I personally would do. Yeah, hopefully that helps a bit. If you need the legendary insights, that helps a lot. Like just logging in every day if you can and doing the dailies, they give so much. Doing the easy ones, especially because you can just do like Cold War, like the normal strike, the old strike missions, so to say. They give a lot of LI for just playing. Like every single week you can get 77 if you do all the bosses. Of course, that's not realistic for a new player, but if you would do that, 77 LI, that means that in 2 weeks you are done with the legendary armor set with the first one. That's crazy. So it's really, really fast. Yeah, so you need to do the story for the specific Scrying Pool, the mission. So for example, if you want to do Forging Steel, you have to do the Grofmar storyline or something like that. And if you want to do the so it depends a bit what kind of thing you want to access from the Scrying Pool, and that's dependent. And yes, that gives you, so to say, that tells you what is the thing that is, so to say, required for the story. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, always happy to help. In your opinion, what is a great all-around class? Like good everything and check off all traits. Me as a new player has been really hard to find a class to enjoy 300 hours into and didn't find it. I would say Guardian is probably one of the best all-around classes, because it's always on top of the charts in every game mode. It's just like Arena's favorite child. I think it is very flexible. You can play full support, you can play full DPS, you can play something in the middle. It's really good in World vs. World, it's really good in PvP. It's like Guardian has never been bad in any game mode, and it might not always be the absolute best meta pick in a specific niche or scenario, but it's always a very valid pick, and it's a great all-rounder, and it's really good solo. I think for me personally, Guardian is probably #1 pick, with a close second right now being Mesmer. But I think if you look at the past and predict the future to some extent, I think Guardian is always a really good bet. Yeah, I like Mesmer as well, and I play Mesmer a lot as well, but I think it's more because of its uniqueness that I would say I play it, and it's filling a decent unique spot in most situations as well. But I think Guardian is just a staple, especially for new player, because it's less punishing than Mesmer and less, so to say, getting used to. And if you like this kind of holy vibe, some kind of blue flame light warrior, that's awesome. But of course, if you don't like it, there are so many others. Just like, yeah. Oh, that's just my opinion there. Yeah, I agree. That is a good point, coming back to the downstat thing, that downstat is not like created equal. Yeah. So some things like Ranger in downstat, like maybe Guardian to some extent in downstat, they have some really good tools to revive themselves. Maybe even Warrior with the Vengeance. But they are not like as... how can I say? There are some classes that are annoying to deal with, like Thief. They can actually negate the attack twice because they can port and shadow them, stealth themselves. But I think personally, like, they are not created equal, especially if you like fight in World vs. World. Yes, it's a niche case, but you could fight underwater where you cannot stomp. Then Ranger becomes absolutely bonkers. It's extremely strong because you cannot kill them and they revive themselves. So if you don't have enough damage, the pet revives them after some time. It's crazy. It really is. So let's see if it's now time. Yeah, Ranger is probably one of the best ones to have. Let's see. Let's see, where are they? They're still doing Reaper. What did I want to do? What am I doing here? Why am I here? So I wanted to open some lucky divine envelopes and wanted to showcase this with maximum magic find. But of course I need the buff here of Silver Waste, which gives me 200%. Nice, really appreciate it. Thanks for the support here. Guardian Mesmer, good support. Yeah, definitely. Guardian Mesmer, best choice. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, Boxer. Thanks. Really, really nice. Thanks for the support. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that is probably, Guardian Mesmer is probably the best in-slot choice if you want to have the most check of all trades. Yeah. So let's see if quick play goes, like, works now. No, still don't. I don't know when it works. I don't know. That's so sad. I you know, maybe just give me like a cooldown or when it's back up. I want to get into some quick play here. Okay, I mean, then the only thing that's like is left to do, like, I wanted to get the Demon Queen Evoker going. 400 September patch probably applies to raid quick play as well. Added a 2-minute cooldown between successive joining of quick play mode fractal missions. This cooldown is also applied to players who join an existing non-quick play party through the LFG system to prevent parties that were assembled for other purposes from being forced into a quick play fractal. Okay, I mean, we can't just wait for 2 minutes. I mean, I'm fine with that. But it's so weird, you know? Why not make some kind of timer there that I know, okay, now in 2 minutes I can join. It's weird. But okay, let's wait. Good point there. Thanks for bringing it up if that's the case. Yeah. I agree with you, Summer. I agree with you. I think more punishing competitive modes, it's fine. I think you just have to imagine that the new player, you want to have, there we go. You want to have more new players getting into game mode as well. If it's too scary and you only get veterans in there, and the veterans are just slowly decreasing the amount of playtime, or maybe don't even are interested in playing it anymore, the game, that is not good. So I personally think it's like quite important that you always consider new players what should get into this game mode as well. And if it's too scary because it's too punishing, that's not good. What is going on? It's full. What? What? I didn't do anything. Okay. They are all in. I'm not. Interesting. Very interesting. Quick play needs a bit of a quality of life, quality improvement in general. I don't know how to get in. Maybe like logging out, logging back in. Who knows? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is there anything in the game you still have not achieved but want to? Oh, now I left the group. That's so interesting. Did I get kicked or what? And now it's on cooldown again. I didn't do anything. Oh my god, that's interesting. Very interesting. Another 2-minute cooldown it is. Yeah, I didn't do anything, you know. This is not my fault if I don't get into the map. Crazy. I don't really have anything in the game, so to say, left to achieve. I have all the legendaries. I have like everything. It's just I played way too much, you know. At this point, I just play for fun. That's it. And for your content, of course. So let's see. Maybe they add something that I will go for, but for now, I don't really have any goals in the game. I just play for fun. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the kp.me arcdps order on how to set it up that it shows exactly what you want. I know how to set it up that it shows my stuff and the others, but I don't know how that you can set it up in a way that you see how many times they cleared it. I'm not completely sure how to do that. It's because you leave the group too fast? I guess, but the thing is, I didn't join the group, so it was not my fault that I had to leave the group. I don't know. I just wait 2 minutes. Yeah, they nerfed me very hard. They didn't want me to get into quick play. I don't know. Let's just wait until the cooldown is back. I'm happy that there is a cooldown for leavers, but I think it should not affect people that actually, like, was not their fault to leave the group. Yeah. Which class would you recommend for a player who is, for example, at an intermediate level? I was playing Warrior and Ranger, but I'm looking for something more tanky. I think I would not generally say that a specific class is what makes a build or spec tanky. It's more about the build. So some builds are extremely tanky on their own. For example, a Reaper has the Shroud. And if you play a DPS Reaper in PvE, you have a lot of defenses in your base kit. Virtuoso is another good example because if evades blocks and stuff like that. So it's more about the build and the spec that you choose than the whole class. Ooh, Canadian Auto look. I think that's the first time that I get it in quick play. It's fine. It's a longer one, but it's fine. We're playing quick DPS Chronomancer. Let's do that. But yeah, I would say that is like what you should do. So tell me what class you actually enjoy the look of, and I can tell you what kind of defensive build you can play, or somewhat easy build to get into for an intermediate player and still having good defenses. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, if new players are annoyed by downstat, I think that would be very like an easy fix to just make downstat something that is like not the case anymore. But I'm not sure. I think it's a unique mechanic of Guild Wars 2, and I think downstat in PvE is okay. It's more like in competitive modes where it can be frustrating. But in PvE, I think it's not too bad. It's like a safety net, and it's maybe should be enabled or disabled in like harder content, maybe to make it like, so to say, more challenging and more punishing. But I think in like competitive modes, that's a completely different beast. I'm with you there. No. Do they one-shot each other? No. Why is everyone spreading? What is going on? It's such a clown fiesta, this boss. It's crazy. At least we cannot like get one-shot because people don't know what to do here. That's interesting. Like such a quick play. Quick play is just content. You know, I have to do it on stream. It's just amazing. Amazing content what you encounter here in the safari of quick play. Yeah. I think forcing players into downstat is more annoying than just letting them die. I'm just saying what I like think is an argument there. I'm not saying you're wrong here. I'm all for making downstat more, so to say, conditional and not always be there. I think that would be like, I think that's good. But that is like just a veteran perspective. I don't know if every new player would like agree with that. And I think that a lot of like other MMO players might actually agree with you. But I think a lot of players that come to Guild Wars 2 are not specifically looking for a tryhard MMO, because then they would have gone and played World of Warcraft or something like that, where you have a bit more, like, so to say, this raid hardcore mentality and stuff like in there. I don't know. I think there are arguments for both sides. I'm not the developer. I think they have to decide what they want with their game, what kind of type of player they want to, so to say, raise. But yeah, I'm just bringing up the arguments for both sides. I always like to do that because I think it's important to always see both sides of the argument or the issue. Yeah, I think in World vs. World, I think it's probably the easiest to just remove it, because it's not improving the gameplay loop by that much. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, the damage. I didn't even look at the DPS meter. 42%. Oh my god. I didn't even look. I read more chat than I read like the DPS meters. Oh my god. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, that's quick play in a nutshell. You know, I don't want to flame anybody. There are probably new players, or maybe like we have 5 healers here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's just really funny to me that we have like this crazy amount of gap between like players that played it for the first time or something, and players that somewhat know what how the rotation works. That's insane. Absolutely insane. In my opinion, Guild Wars 2 is very overwhelming for new players. I love the Elementalist, but it's very squishy on fractals and hard to master due to the combos. Yeah, I mean, I think every class has the issue that it can be overwhelming. That's just because it's an old game with a lot of content and stuff like that. But I personally would say if you like a class, you should stick with it. I really think so. You should not play a class just because it's easy and you don't really like the design of it. No, it's me. That's not good. I mean, I guess I have to tank it here and try to cleave it down. It's not what I like to do, but okay, I guess we have to do it like that. We could also bring it now. We just leave it here for now. Yeah, the damage is quite lackluster, I have to be honest. This will take a while. This will take a while. I'm not flexing. Yeah, I mean, flexing against healers, you know, we have like 5 healers here, I think. Like, what is going on even? Doesn't matter, you know, I just want to get the kills here. And I'm not even playing DPS. Maybe I should have played DPS if we had 5 healers, if I would have known. No, downstage weeks in World vs. World is most fun time. It makes gameplay a lot more enjoyable. I agree. I hope they do that actually. Like, did they confirm that this will happen again? I think they did not confirm anything about World vs. World rush events in the next few weeks, even months. So hopefully that's one of them. I would be all up for it. I think there's just like the beta event coming. Nothing else. Yeah, I mean, Arc DPS can be very fun to see what actually like the group is like made out of. But I would not like recommend Arc DPS if you want to like Arc DPS should be a self-improvement tool. It should not be used to be like toxic or anything. You know, I'm not complaining because we have the bad DPS here. It's just funny to see that like we have almost no one doing DPS besides like 2 other people here. It's actually a bit scary. If you imagine that this is like, so to say, the normal new player experience, and if I'm not here, like this will take like double the time. That's a bit scary, to be honest. What's the first impression of raid bosses like this is like, oh, they take 20 minutes. No, I guess that's not the game mode for me. Whereas you have some raid bosses that is like, it's like done in 2 minutes. Yeah, definitely interesting. Yeah, I play everything as well. I would not stick with one class if you want to play the game long term. I think it's always better to play multiple classes and have fun, or at least play multiple builds, because that's where Guild Wars 2 really shines, is like flexibility of like having different alt characters, different specs, gearing them. I think that's the most interesting aspect of playing Guild Wars 2. Build crafting, trying different builds, learning different builds. At least for me. I'm with you there for sure. Yeah, there is stability for rangers if you play like solo, like for yourself. Every ranger spec has access to that. If you're playing for group stability, then druid has stability with the lead skill, for example. Or if you play soul beast, you can share it with the Dolyak stance, stuff like that. But ranger is not the most stability class, so to say. It doesn't have stability for like the party forever, like for example like Luminary does, or like Troubadour has. Those two have like insane stability uptime. Ranger is not known for its insane stability access, but it has it, yeah. So at least we are slowly like getting it done, slowly but surely. It takes a while though. Yeah, oh my god, good job. How many people died in this bomb? I really wanted to stand in the corner there, but I guess it didn't work enough. Okay. And now the mech is happening. So how many people will die to the mech laser beam? That is the big question in a bit, when we get to like the 33% phase. Okay, no one died here. Very good. I mean, we already had someone dead, but that's fine. Practicing heal chrono, that's my excuse. Yeah, I mean, don't worry, you know, if you are playing a healer and you want to learn the healer, that's fine, you know. Quick play has a spot for healers. It's just weird if you have like, I don't know, 5 people that having like almost no DPS, then either they all are healers, which I doubt, because who plays like Evoker and Mechanist as a healer nowadays? But I guess, yeah, could be the case. Who knows? It doesn't matter. We will get the kill, I think. It's like almost unfailable. If not everybody dies to the laser beam from the mech, we will be fine. Don't worry, Haldia, don't worry. How about you rate double X Zerg Warrior? It's really good. Like in PvE, it's like an S tier build. It's extremely good as a quickness DPS or as a full DPS, yeah. If you like Warrior, that's probably one of the best picks that you can go for. Yeah. Yeah. That's quick play, yeah. I'm quick play. Otherwise, that would be very scary. If you see something like that in an organized party, that is very scary. That is extremely scary. But it's fine. We will get the kill. It takes a while. It's not that most exciting thing to watch here on stream, I guess. But, you know, it's better than failing over and over with the CC at Old Lion Squad, I have to be honest. So, mech laser beam incoming very soon. Heal Evoker in PvE. I mean, Heal Evoker is not bad. It's just like almost nobody plays it, because it's just like, why would you play it over Tempest, over even Heal Catalyst? It's just like, it's just a worse healer for Elementalist. That's it. Ooh. Also bad positioning for the laser. Ooh, no one died yet. Maybe no one died. Very good. The laser did no one died to the laser. That's a plus in my book. Yeah. Very good. The funny part is also that in like quick play you don't even need a healer that often, because if you have enough DPS, the buff actually helps you to survive. Of course, it might be better to have a healer, but it's not necessary oftentimes. So it's interesting that we have so many healers here in quick play. People always think apparently that we would have died otherwise, or people want to learn healers, which is fine. But I think having 5 of them is probably a bit overkill. You mentioned we're also a heal chrono in this group. Would be a 10-minute KO. Yeah, that would be, to be honest, I would not quit there, but I would be very like sad, to be honest. I would be very sad. Okay. It is still a very long like strike or raid boss. It's probably one of the longest ones that you can get in quick play. Probably it's the longest one. So that's already not perfect, but I mean, what can you do? What can you do? That's how quick play works. And after, like I said, I think Old Lion Squad is more scary for me, because I always have someone that just randomly CCs and we all get one shot. That is just like way more scary than having a fight that takes longer, because resetting 5 times is for me less enjoyable than having a fight that takes 3 times, 4 times the amount of time that it usually does. It's quite enjoyable to watch. Nice. I mean, we have more to go. I need more. I have 4 to go for today. So this is the first one. We need 3 more after this. So you can pray for me getting something exciting like this again. If you enjoy it, yeah? Yeah. It's supposed to be a training. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like, for a veteran, it can be quite annoying. And I can understand people that want to have the fastest possible ones. So for example, like Bone Skinner is done in 2 minutes, and this one takes 20 minutes if you have a slow group, and gives the same rewards, or almost the same. That is a bit like, I don't know, a bit annoying in the balancing department in terms of rewards. But yeah, what can you do? Warrior or Guardian, what do you think is more fun? I personally like Guardian a bit more because it has more, so to say, instant casts, and I'm just a sucker for instant casts. Yeah, instant casts for me is like the best in in the fun aspect. That's why I like Mesmer so much. That's why I like a lot of Elementalist specs, because there are like instant cast is a lot of the times the bread and butter of how you play your builds and how they function and stuff like that. It's not for everybody, I understand it, especially for people with high ping. Yes, no one died. I mean, that's good. You know, people are learning. I like that. It's like definitely a quick play experience, but people are learning, and that's already I'm positive about that. So I would pick Guardian because of that, because it has teleports, instant cast, a bit more flashy animations. I like that as well. That's just personal though. Yeah. What are the buffs in quick play? So in quick play you get a bit more damage, yeah, and stuff like that, and you get some lifesteal from your damage that you do, which is obviously really helpful if you don't have a healer or something like that. And it's just in general you take less damage. That's like the main aspect there. So you don't get one-shot that easily from attacks that just deal a lot of damage. Some attacks still one-shot you, so one-shot attacks from Old Lion's Court or something like that you cannot avoid any other way than doing the mechanics. That is still a one-shot, but it's so to say more forgiving. And I think that's a good balance. I think the only weird thing is that you don't get any boons in quick play. So that means that you still have to fill the roles. That can be a bit painful if you, for example, are the quick DPS and then everyone else is like quick DPS as well and no one plays Alacrity. That can be a bit of an annoyance there, but yeah, I guess that's the random aspect of this. The outlines something is also very long. Yeah, welcome, hi from Denmark, welcome back. But I personally would say the Old Lion's Court is only long if you like don't have good DPS. If you have good DPS, it's like a medium one. It's not the fastest one, but it's medium. What are they doing? Okay, we did it. Nice. That was slow, but we did it. Good job. Good job. 3 more to go. So I can leave now, hopefully, without getting the debuff. So let's see if I can instantly queue up again. Yes. Instantly go back in. Let's see what we get this time. I stopped playing heal and quick play because of this. I started playing quick DPS. Runs became so much faster. Yeah, I'm with you. I only on Bone Skin, and even then I think it's not worth it to play a healer. I think healer is fine if you want to learn it, but I think, oh my god, and it's ended and instantly quit. What? What is that? What is that? I don't know. I just wait now. Maybe it solves itself. Maybe we... Yeah, I think it's still looking for people. I think. Maybe? Who knows? You will see. Every time I want to heal in quick play, there are 3 other supports. Yeah, I think if you want to learn heal, it is like... if you're lucky and you don't get any other supports, it's fine. But I would not really say if you want to... Like, for example, healing in Guild Wars 2 is all about understanding mechanics. And if you, for example, play a quick DPS or full DPS in a quick play, and you understand all the mechanics, then it doesn't really need to be you on the healer. It's just good enough if you understand actually the fight. Okay, here I think we need more CC. A lot of times we're missing here CC, so I bring a bit more CC. And elect DPS. Yeah, let's go like that. I don't know. Quick DPS. Okay, I guess then I'll go back up. Just hope that someone is elect DPS here. Nah, I should have maybe gone DPS. I don't know. Now I cannot swap the squad anymore. It's fine. I hope for alacrity from the Spectre. I really do. Because then otherwise my DPS is so low. Like Chronomancer is the most important class to have alacrity on. Because you have a trait here that gives you 15% crit chance while you have alacrity. Which is like, if you don't have alacrity, it's like your DPS is like in the, like, it's just gone. It's just completely gone. And I think I have alacrity. So I'm happy. Like that's fine, yeah. Looks good. You see, that is way faster, this boss. Like way faster. We even have a good player with like the meta build of like power conduit. That's what we like to see. Yeah. Yeah, improvements could be made for sure, for sure. Mesmer Spear is such a well-designed weapon. I agree. I think it's the most... It's probably, for me, it's very flashy. That could be a negative argument, but for me personally, I think Mesmer Spear, from the flow, from the fluidity of the rotation and the loop and stuff, I think it's probably the best designed weapon. I have to be honest there. For me at least. I like to have it. I like to play it a lot. I'm with you there. Still surprised why the easy Icewood Saga Strike aren't in quick play. I think it's so weird that they did some of the, so to say, more annoying, harder ones like KO and Old Lion's Court, but then they didn't do the Icewood Saga, the easy ones, and then they didn't add any raids. You know, why didn't they add like Veil Guardian or Gorseville or some of the easy bosses of raids? Why not add those instead of like the more annoying old strike missions? I don't know. It's just weird to me, but I think it's maybe because of the balancing reasons and their UI and stuff didn't work perfectly for that. I don't know. Just what I think, what I can come up with here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy that I can requeue. I'm really happy, yeah. Yeah. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice weekend. I'm not a big fan of strikes quick play. The Soto strikes, and especially this one, can be very frustrating with enemies who don't know anything. Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it's like this one, especially if the CC doesn't go through, that can be so annoying. Like, CC please? Oh, that was so close. But yeah, that can be very annoying, but I think it's not the worst. I think the Soto strike missions are okay. I think it's more like that we have, for example, KO is probably the longest one, and Old Lion's Court has a one-shot mechanic, which is, in my opinion, an interesting choice to include into some kind of training group, because it's just, you cannot, like, it teaches them by, like, failing, I guess, and the buff doesn't help you there. Yeah. I don't know. I think they should have like revisited what kind of strikes and raid fights they would have included into quick play, to be honest. Yeah, I think this is one of the easier ones because it's standing still. It doesn't do anything. It's just like a bit of annoyance in terms of how long it takes, and the CC can be a bit like rough if the people don't know that we need a lot of CC at this moment. But other than that, I think it's not that bad. Blade Power Antiquary with Staff. It works really well for our content, not the best, but I get the job done. Yeah, I mean, especially for PvE, I think that's a solid choice, yeah. Ooh, I have 3 stacks, I should probably not get more of those. Please make a video about Downstat. To be honest, it's actually, it's a really good video idea. Like, maybe more like of a discussion video than making a video like how Downstat works, because I have to be honest, like, I don't know if Downstat explanation video is really necessary. It's just like, so to say, some intermediary between death and like being fully alive. But making a discussion video about Downstat and how people like think about it and what should be changed, especially in World vs. World, I think that's a really interesting debate topic. I might have to do that very soon. Good point there, yeah. I have to say I'm happy quick play exists, really, so I can passively farm the currency if I ever craft the raid legendary. But raid quick play without any raid bosses, excuse me, yeah, that is weird. It is definitely weird. Okay, so we go back out and we go back in, hopefully we will see. That was like half the time from the other one. It's fine. Yeah, we can get right back in. Weird, I don't know, works. 2 more to go, then we have to finally all the relics. I play Guild Wars 2 for 14 months and I still don't fully understand Downstat. Hi. Yeah, hi Lupe. Welcome. I think it's fine that you don't fully understand it. What is the thing that you don't understand? Then maybe I can clear this up here. But in general, I think Downstat is not necessarily something that is hard to understand. It's maybe just hard to master. You know, how to, again, okay, I guess. It's just, so to say, how do you play with Downstat? For example, in PvP, Downstat is a completely, so to say, can completely win or lose the match for you if you bleed someone off point. In World vs. World, if you manipulate the Downstat in a Zergs very well, this means that you might even, so to say, resurrect your allies without having a resurrection skill. So Downstat can be really, like, if you master how to manipulate Downstats, it's extremely strong, especially in competitive modes. But it's, in my opinion, not a really hard thing to understand. It's just like something that prevents you from dying the first time you go down, and you can like get hand res. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Fun enough, Blade Hideout is one of the worst in Quick Clip. As soon as you don't know, people show up. They just stay insta-wiped. Yeah, but the thing is, you can get resurrected. The problem that I have with, for example, Outline Squad being a quick play is that it one-shots everybody if you do the mechanic wrong. In the Blade Hideout quick play, you can resurrect people because you have, so to say, if you know where to stand, you will not go into like one shot, and you can just resurrect them, hand rest them. That's allowed in quick play. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. But I agree. I think it's a very interesting choice to have bosses that have one-shot mechanics in quick play to teach how quick play works or how raids work. I would rather have like something that deals heavy damage, like for example Veil Guardian, where you have to stand in the greens to negate the damage. You can also ignore the damage, but it's not a one-shot for the whole group. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I see there. Downstate is hard to master. You talk about MLM's downstate rotation? Yeah, exactly, about that one, exactly. A lot of questionable mechanics, but it is what it is. It's too late to change those, like downstate and permanent boons. Yeah, I think the Guild Wars 2 is a game that had really good innovation when it came out. And some of the innovation is nowadays, or in general, was not like necessary, or is just too much, or just evolved into something that is not perfect anymore. That is, in my opinion, true, but I think it's too late to change. I made a video recently about permanent boons and why I think it's not good for the healthiness of the PvE specifically, and I think that will not change. Even though I made this video and a lot of people agreed with me, I think the ArenaNet, the developers there, they see that issue, but they are scared to fully rework boons. And I can understand that it's a lot of effort and they don't even know if it works out well. So I think I'm with you there. I think there are some issues in the game and some are design flaws. Some of them are just over the course of time evolved into something that is not perfect. But either way, I think a lot of them are just unrealistic that they will fix it or change it for the better. Let's leave it like that. Yeah. No, I'm from Germany, so Europe, yes. So any advice how to stay more tanky on this build? Sometimes I just insta die. So in general, I think it depends a bit on what kind of like encounters you do, but I think the most important part about staying alive is understanding mechanics and how to avoid them, or how to not get hit by attacks that are like hard hitting and stuff like that. So if you play Mesmer, for example, then you have spear, or maybe you have like the offhand sword. You can use the block to dodge an attack or to avoid an attack with the block. You can use the distortion that you have to negate attacks. You have the evade on spear. So there are a lot of ways to actually deal with like getting damage, and you just avoid the damage altogether. Not saying that works every time, because of course one-shot mechanics and stuff like that cannot be avoided this way, but that helps. And in general, like on Bone Skinner, for example, you don't need to dodge the attacks. You can just sidestep them, like this one. You don't have to dodge this laser. I can just rotate around the boss. That is obvious. Yeah, that is very obvious. But I think for a new player, you should just slowly learn the mechanics of a fight and try to not use your dodge key that often, because use that only if you need the real evade, the real iframe, so to say. In a lot of cases, it's better to just continuously DPS the boss and sidestep while doing DPS. Stuff like that. That comes with time. So I know it's not helpful for a lot of players listening to this, but that's a tip that you have to like embrace and try to get better at sidestepping and just seeing mechanics, avoiding them without actually dodging, because saving dodges for times where you need to dodge really is, so to say, more sustain and more defense in the long run, because every class has at least 2 dodges. Nowadays at least. So I think that is fine. I think we have enough, like, ooh. What are they doing? Interesting. As a first legendary, should I care about tier 2 or 3 or all at the same time? No, I think, to be honest, start with the first legendary and go like from there. Don't care too much about it, the tiers, yeah. Go for the one that you like, yeah. How do you know which one to kill? So it's always the same ones. You kill, for example, Envy and that kind of stuff, but it's like you can kill all of them. It's not like it makes it easier if you do the normal ones, but you can kill any of them. It's just it will empower the others that you don't kill, so it can be a bit annoying if you empower something that is a bit more annoying to deal with than another attack. But in general, just try to remember the ones that your party goes to. I don't even know the names. I think Envy is one of them. I think Despair might be one of the others, but I don't know all the others' names by heart. It's always the middle one. It's never the smallest one. It's never, and it's always Envy and stuff like that. Maybe if you get it again, I can tell you the names as well. As a new player, entering the quick play with the 3 guys insta-killing me taught me to not waste time with raids anymore. Fractals are way more fun. Yeah, I can understand that. It's just sad that it teaches you that. You know, it should rather teach you that raids can be very fun. Okay, I think that's the last one. Yeah, the last one that I need. And then we are done with the quick play achievement here. Very good. Does someone know why I can't interact with the guild anthems? I have no clue. I really don't know. Maybe you don't have the guild, like, how's it called? Represented. That could be one thing, or you might not have the guild leveled high enough. You know, sometimes things are locked behind. For example, you cannot get the potions. Nice, Bone Skinner, very good, fast one. You cannot get the potions, for example, for getting more magic find or more experience here, if you don't have the guild leveled up that high. Yes, yes, ja. Grüße zurück nach Österreich. Very good, very good. The more I read and the more I listen, I don't know which class to play. I mean, just go for any that you like. It's really, every class has really good, like, builds nowadays. You have so much flexibility. Every class has 4 elite specs, so you will find something that you like. So choose the class that you like the look of, you like the class fantasy of, and you will be fine. That is my tip, yeah. And if you decided for one, we can find the builds that you should play, I guess. Yeah. Come from 18 years of hardcore, top-end dungeon raiding World vs. World of Warcraft, so I'm enjoying this game, chilling with low intensity builds, just doing open world stuff. I mean, that's what Guild Wars 2 is made for, yeah. That's what Guild Wars 2 is, so to say, the big strength of Guild Wars 2 is this, like, casual experience, open world fun. It's not really for, like, tryhards and raids and all that stuff. It's there, but it's not in the amount that you would expect if you come from World of Warcraft. That is 100% true. Yeah, there we go. Bone Skinner is so fast. Like, this is the same level of, like, difficulty there, or, like, yeah, the same quick play features than the other thing that took me like almost 20 minutes. Oh my god, I get so many Spirit Novas. I like it. Very good. It's so funny. I didn't dodge yet. This is so broken. Like, Mesmer has so many evades, so many distortions, blocks and stuff that you don't need to dodge ever. It's so good. So, let's get some CC down. Maybe we break the break bar. No, we don't. That's fine. Look at the difference, how fast this fight is. Oh, I couldn't get the Spirit Nova. That's okay, that's okay. No, we can get it now. Another one. Another one. Oh, almost got another one. There we go, we did it. Easy. Quick play done. Nice. Nice. Very good. Good job. What server are you playing on? I'm playing on EU. In Guild Wars 2 they are not the servers anymore. Just for World vs. World. That's it. Everything else doesn't really have servers. No servers anymore. Guild Wars 2 is just split into EU or NA. You have mega servers, you share everything on the same map, so to say, all the time. Yeah. Condi Willbender DPS, if you have time. I can choke. I don't know if I have set it up. I have to check. The problem is, Willbender, I can tell you how it's supposed to play, but I cannot showcase how good I am at it. Or I can showcase how good I am, but it's not I'm not that good at Condi Willbender because you actually have to. I don't have it set up, sadly. Maybe next stream, Juskam, maybe next stream. Because I want to set it up and have to take a look at the rotation again, because it has been a while since I played it. And I don't want to spread misinformation about what kind of build you should use and stuff like that. So, Condi Willbender is really good. I have a video about it that talks about the rotation and stuff like that. But you really have to stick to, like, spamming builds and, like, trying to learn the rotation and stuff like that. Nice, we are almost there. That's what we want. So, I want to open Magic Find affected divine lucky envelopes. So we have almost, how many? We have 1,500 almost. That's what I want to open later. So first let's get the rebar done, and then we can get some magic find buffs going. So that's what I want to do here. That's why I'm here on Silver West. Yeah, for veterans, it's like raid quick play is not the most exciting thing for veterans. Yeah, it's I do it because it's like decently rewarding and stuff like that, and it's fun content on stream. But I would not really do it if I like had like 5 minutes and wanted to play some raids. I would probably not go for quick play because you never know what you get. That's more like the problem. Okay, so need to get some of the maps preservance buff, and then we can get the magic find up, and then we hopefully get some gold. I want to showcase how it actually works to open the magic find envelopes and if it is actually rewarding. It is, I can tell you that already, stuff like that. But I'm immobilized, not good. Yeah, so I created Aluminum mainly for World vs. World raid, but never read any of my guild guides for it. So I tested in PvE. It just ran the forge skills for Alec and combos for Caracosa Relic. It kind of works. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right, yeah. Luminary spamming forge skills, and it's probably good. It doesn't matter if you're DPS or healer. It's always like the classic rotation. Yeah. Okay, so we need a bit more. There we go. 2. We get up to 5 buffs, then we get more magic find, and I will showcase this thing. Not there. I want to showcase how much magic find you can get and showcase, no, it's another one. Okay. And how much gold you can get out of those, because those are magic find affected. The cap is 750, and I will showcase how I get to 750 magic find. Yes, sounds good. Good. Very nice, very nice. On another character, I still have my guild buff active, but I can't interact with the NPC anymore to get another one. That's so weird. Huh. Maybe, you know, the guild buff is like forever, so maybe you were in a different guild when you got this? I don't know. Maybe, I have no clue why. Maybe there's a bug, though? Could also happen. You know, Guild Wars 2 has sometimes bugs, if you believe it. Yeah. Okay. I use quick play when learning a new spec. I mean, that makes sense. That makes completely sense. But of course, you can never see how good your healing output is or how good your damage output is if you compare that to a real raid boss, because oftentimes real raid bosses have more pressure, have, you know, the mechanics are more punishing and stuff like that. So don't, so to say, like expect that everything is exactly one-on-one the same as in quick play, but it's good to learn the class, how it plays, how it feels and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely there with you. I'm happy that they introduced quick play. I'm not saying it's negative. I've had surprisingly good luck with groups. I think as people get more used to the mechanics, it will be more consistent. I hope so. I hope so, yeah. Yeah, of course, if you're a healer, you should, or in general, if you start playing a new build, the first thing that you should do is always read your skills. You know, yes, reading can be boring, but I think that's what you should do. You should never, like, go into a, I don't know, fight or in PvP without reading your skills. You know, skills is like, reading what they do is the most important aspect, because that explains how you should use them. Doesn't mean you use them perfectly yet, but you at least can understand what is the reason that you should use it right now or you want to use it later. Yeah. Yeah, see you, Heike, see you. Thanks for joining. World vs. World accessory coming March, or what time? So we know there will be a World vs. World accessory coming. I'm pretty sure that in the original blog post before Christmas, they told us that the accessory will be coming in like the next big quarterly update. So that would be in May or something, mid of May. But the patch with the beta event is coming in like end of February, and maybe you already get maybe the precursor for that or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's completely separate, and maybe they think, okay, we will give the legendary beforehand and we get another legendary, because they said in one blog post that there will be 2 accessories coming with the Visions of Eternity release. So maybe there will be one World vs. World one coming with the beta event and one coming with the, how's it called? With the real quarterly 2 patch or something. Who knows? I don't, but that I guess could be both. Yeah, could be both. Welcome, Pupsy Mousy. Welcome. Hope you're doing fine. Having a nice Saturday morning here. So we need one more, and then we have like, there we go, 5 stacks already at, let's see how much Magic Find we have. Well, that gives like 500 already. Oh my god. This gives 30 Magic Find per stack, so 150. And I need to go to the cap of 700, and I have, you can see here, I have some Magic Find boosters prepared that I will use, of course, as well. For example, the birthday boost I can already use. It's last today. It would be fine. Gives me, like, I'm at 600. I mean, it will be so easy to get to 750. This is like just the best map. You don't need any like crazy boots and buffs. You can just like get them open. Yeah, that's crazy. It really is crazy. And like this one already, when you open chests, you already get a big buff, because that's like the chest give you like, it's like even higher. It's really funny. You get so much Magic Find from that. There we go. So you also want, of course, the end buff. So if you do the meta event here, it's like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, not even 15 minutes. If you do that, you get a big buff for half an hour as well, as long as you stay on silver base. So really valuable here. I just learned my World vs. World stuff in PvE. Yeah, I mean, if that works for you, sure. Teleports. Where does it go? Not here. Okay. Stacking speed, stacking might, other boons, so I can get it done much faster and don't have to think about it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, feared me. Oh. Question, I'm building a Condi Paragon. Do I get Rune of the Trapper? So, Rune of the Trapper you have to craft yourself. You can get the... It's not that hard to craft. It requires 400 crafting, I think. It's not that annoying, but you need to get it yourself, the recipe. And if you have the recipe, then you can craft it, and it costs like, I don't know, maybe like 2 gold or something like that. It's not too bad. And if you have that, then you can equip it. But it's sadly, it's a weird thing. I don't know why this specific rune is not available on the trading post and others are, but you can get the recipe. I think you can even get the recipe from the trading post as well. Let me check. Yeah, you can get it for 2 copper, so you just have to unlock it, and then you can use it on any of the armorsmith, leatherworker, tailor. You just have to craft it yourself. That's how it works, sadly. Okay, so now we have to wait a bit until the choppers land, and then we should be good. So Artificer is working. You can... No, Artificer is not working. You need the armor thing. So armorsmith, leatherworker, or tailor. Those, so runes typically come, or runes generally come from the armor creating things, and then you have the weapon creating things like Artificer, like weaponsmith. What's the last one? Huntsman. Those create sigils. Makes sense, because sigils you equip on the weapon and runes you equip on the armor. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's clean up the inventory while we wait for this, and then we can open some 1,500 or something like that. Let's see how much we get out of that. A lot of chunk, I can tell you that much already. So let's equip, for example, here the enrichment, 20% magic find enrichment. And let's use some fireworks here, I guess. And then give some magic find buff, 10%. There we go. 631. With some buff wood and stuff going. Very good. And I guess we don't even need that much other things. We're already at 700, and then we get the 50% from the event here, and then we're already done. We don't need that much. It's actually crazy how cheap you can do it. You can also use the boosters. Let's go for the boosters. You know, we have it here as well. Wizard's Gobbler. Go for Candycom booster. There we go. And 750 already. So we can already open it. We don't even have to wait for the meta event. But let's do the meta event nonetheless. Maybe I get a Queen Bee infusion that drops from that boss here. Probably not. I never got an infusion yet. But who knows? You can get lucky. Yeah. Welcome, Norm. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing fine today. Just hydrating for a second. There we go. Is the only way to get your own ascended food to level cooking profession? Yes. So, not really. So, you can of course always go to your guild and be in a guild that allows you to use the food. So, if you're in a guild and has food stockpiled and you have the, so to say, license to use the food, then yes, you can do that. Then you don't need to craft it yourself. But if you want to get it for yourself and have it in your inventory, like I do here, for example, then you have to get to the 500 cooking. Yeah. That is the only way to do it. It's, I would say, more roleplay than anything else. It could easily been like sellable on the TP as well, but that's not how they did it. So yeah, that's just how it goes. So we have to escort the carrier here, I think. And then when it's down, we can kill the boss. Hopefully that's one burn. Yeah. So the question here is that I got here in game is like, how do you get the infusion here? So first of all, the infusion is a lucky drop. So I just mentioned it because it can drop here. So the Queen Bee infusion, as far as I know, drops from the end boss chest. Of course, I have not seen it with my own eyes because I didn't get it yet. But there is this end boss here, and if you kill it, there is a big chest here, and this has the chance of giving you the Queen Bee infusion. It's quite rare. It is also like, I don't know how much is it, like 2k on the trading post. Oh, even more, 6k. Yeah, it's quite expensive. Yeah, so this can drop here if you're lucky. Very lucky, I would say. I got the Combat Bog Queen Tonic the other day. First time ever doing the meta as well. Nice, congrats, very good. Yeah, I mean, there are some really good lucky drops right now. It's just something that, you know, some people play this every day and don't get it. Some people like play it once like you and get some really lucky drop. I think everybody has a different like luck level. I would say my luck level is quite low, sadly. So don't expect anything from here. But I mean, I always say if I drop an infusion on stream, I will just give it away. Maybe not the same stream, but I will make a stream about it where I give the infusion away or the rare drop. There we go, champion is dead. And we get teleported out. And now we just have to wait until the others are doing theirs. Very good. I'm run out of the time gate ingredients to make more ascended food. Yeah, that is a bit annoying. I agree. But you can buy the time gated materials, I think. You can buy those. So you can, almost every single piece of the ascended food you can buy from the trading post. Just not the final product. Yeah, that's just how they designed it. A recipe that I don't have. Very good. Something new every day, I guess. I got infusion once only from World vs. World box. Oh my god. I mean, that's still good. Like, congrats there. I mean, I would be happy to get any infusion, you know, a rare drop. I think the rarest infusion drop that I got in the game is the ghostly infusion. I think I got a ghostly infusion in the long time since Gorsable has been out. I got a Gorsable like a ghostly infusion. It's 80 gold or something. So I'm not complaining. I got one, but it would be nice to get one from the real big meta events that really like count, so to say. Exactly, like Guild Wars 2 has some drops like the mirror and PoE. Exactly. I'm not sure what the numbers are on the infusion drops, if they are comparable to a mirror, but I think for me at least it feels like it, yeah. And you can always buy it, of course, if you want to have the infusion anyway. Yeah. There we go. Another one is up. And after more than a decade, yeah. I mean, that's the RNG. Yeah. I never got one, and I played this game for over a decade as well. It's just like, if you're lucky, you get it. If you're not, then not. You know, some people got like multiple chuck infusions already, and they are quite expensive as well. I'm not like complaining. I'm just saying it's really luck based. You know, it's just so small numbers, so small probabilities that they happen that you cannot guarantee it. Even if you do it every day, it's just like it might not happen at all. That's just how RNG works, I guess. Yeah. Do you think Arena should overhaul core game story? It's hard to get my friends on the game without them being bored. Most of them don't even get to Heart of Thorns. So I think that's a hard choice, but I personally would say I think the story in the core game is not necessarily bad. It's just the deliverance is a little bit slow paced and it's not up to the standards a lot of times. So I personally think it would be awesome to maybe make it so that you can skip the core game story and have some kind of cinematic trailer summary of what happened, yeah, stuff like that. We had that a bit for Living World Season 1 and stuff like that, but I think for the core game story that would be even better. Problem is you also want to have the gameplay relevant. So how do you do that? I think it's really hard for the developers to really make it worthwhile to rework the whole old story, because that's so many instances, so many fights. It's content that already works. It might not be the best, but it works. So is that worth it for a lot of veterans, players that did already the story? They will not redo it again. So is that worth it, putting like development time in there? I don't know. I think it's such a tough sell for me. It really is. But maybe you're right. Maybe that would be like the way to get more new players. But I think new players is oftentimes they just skip to the current story because they are not that important. It's not important to play through the core story or the current Visions of Eternity story, for example. I don't know. Hard to fix. My highest value drop was a Power Mystic Infusion. Nice. Congrats. Really good. It's a good one. It's not the most like crazy looking one, but it's quite expensive. Like, how much is it? Like 5k or something? It's good gold. Very nice. There we go. We did it. Now we get the buff. You see? Big buff here. Hero of the Waste, 50% Magic Find buff. Only stays in Silver Waste. I mean, I'm already like way overcapped. I have like way more here. Magic Find buff, but it's okay. I want to open the things now. Let's see how it goes. Do we have some keys left? We have 124 keys, so that's good. So I think it can drop out of this chest. This chest is where it can drop. Of course, I didn't get it, but I think that's exactly where the Queen Bee Infusion drops. This back chest. Yeah. Follow-up question for the Rune of the Trapper. Is it account bound? It's exotic runes. If you use them, I think they are soul bound if you use them. I'm not 100% sure though. I have to be honest, I didn't use my last exotic rune like, I don't know, 5 years at this point. The wiki helps you. The wiki helps you if you want to check that out. Okay, so now let's teleport back and clean up the inventory and open some Lucky Divine Emerald Orbs. Account bound until you use it. Exactly. They should at least remake the Sidon fight. Yeah, I think the Sidon fight is probably the biggest issue that I have with the old story, is that it ends on such a, so to say, really somewhat boring level, yeah, or like not very gameplay focused level, yeah. So I think if they would rework the Sidon fight to be a bit more like cinematic heavy, or just in general more like, I don't know, just entertaining to play, then I guess that would be like, people would like it, yeah. The problem is more that, I guess we have so much chunk here. The problem is more that I again see that the argument is, do they want to invest time into something that might not affect a lot of players anymore? I don't know if the answer to this is yes. I think if the smartest way would maybe to do a fractal out of the Sidon fight. Maybe something like that. So that you can rework the Sidon fight in the story and then use the same rework as a fractal. Just saying, I'm not sure if that will be the case, but I think that would be probably one of the smartest ways to do it. So we have 1,495 of those envelopes. Currently they sell for like, let's say like 330 gold. Let's say we have like roughly 6 stacks of them. So that's like 1,900 gold, a bit more. So let's see if we actually get that much out of that. We have here 750. That's the maximum magic find. We even have more. I don't even have all the boosts. And we have that for the next like half an hour or something. So let's open them. Let's see what we get. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely outdated. It's extremely outdated. I think it was even outdated in 2012. I think the Sidon fight was never the most crazy, flashy thing. Yeah. Yeah, the big chest is RNG. It is, yeah. Would like to grind a confetti and a queen bee in the future? Yeah, I'm with you. I would like to have that as well. Yeah. Yeah, you could even reuse it as a strike mission. You could reuse it as a strike mission as well. I would not say this is very likely, because the problem is like raids and strike missions, they typically are a selling point of the new expansion. I'm not sure if they would go for that then specifically and say that Sidon rework is only for Visions of Eternity owners, or maybe the next expansion that will come after this. But I mean, it could, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? That's true. They did it with Old Line Squad. That is a good point. They did it with Old Line Squad. But Old Line Squad is not locked behind any expansion. It's the only raid boss that is a core game raid boss. So if you have the core game only, you can enter Old Line Squad. But you cannot enter, for example, like the new crab boss. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure how they would do that, to be honest. Not sure. Not sure. What if you could decide to make a character that is not the hero after you complete the game? I think it gets weird defeating a big boss like 30 commanders. Yeah, that is, I don't know. It's like the story of MMOs always is weird at some point because everyone is playing the crazy commander guy. I don't know. So you can see we opened it quite fast with the consume all button, but we have now a lot of chunk, a lot of luck, and New Year's weapon chest. What is in there? I mean, some New Year's skins that I don't need, and they are account bound, I think, if I use them. Yeah. What do we have here? Some lucky horse lantern. I don't have the skin, so I will salvage. No, I cannot salvage. I will unlock one of them, and the rest I guess I will sell to the trade to the vendors. We have a lot of luck chunk. We have some consumables like just food, I guess. And other than that, we have some fireworks for magic find bars. We get some legendary essence of luck, and we get a lot of those like golden trophy stuff that we can sell, and they will give us some gold. So let's see how much we got. I calculated 1.9k gold we invested here, roughly, and let's see how much we actually get here. This is another one. Actually quite good. I don't have the skin unlocked, so we go for that one as well. So that's -5 gold, I guess. So we used a couple of them. That's fine. I'm fine with the story fight being easy. The finale of the story should be super accessible. Yeah, I'm not saying it should be hard. I'm not saying it should be hard. I'm just saying it's rather boring. It's not you just stand there while the lasers shoot them down. It's not like you interact with it much. It's like very anticlimactic, like for me, in my opinion, this fight. And I cannot remember it. I did it like 10 years ago or even longer. So just saying what I remember from it and stuff like that, it was not exciting. Looking at the Mordrumov fight, the Kragatoric fight, those are way more cinematic heavy, and that's more like an end boss fight than like just using a laser to shoot down your opponent. I don't know. Yeah. Plus 340 gold. Let's see. The whole point of the awful boring Titan fight was so everybody could do it. Yeah, exactly. I think it would be okay nowadays to make an easy story fight, like the Titan fight, but make it still cinematic. And then use it in a raid fight and maybe even a fractal as well. And just make them really challenging, or maybe one or the other. But I think that would be the way to do it. I really think so. So let's first like get all the luck in the bank, because I really don't like to see my luck here. Just get it out of the way. Luck. All the luck away, and we can use that maybe to get some gold back, because luck is obviously convertible into gold. Not that much, but it's possible. And if everything is gone, then we can sell the rares to the vendor, because no one cares about the rares. And what else do we need here? Just cleaning up the inventory, I guess. So the rares, lucky horse lantern, gives me 10 silver each, so I don't know. Let's see how much gold we got from this. Roughly like, I don't know, 5 gold. And then we can maybe check the trading post, what we can sell here as well. So 5 gold we already got. And we got like 2 of them, so let's sell those. It's like, again, 11 gold, so we had 16 gold, roughly 16 gold. And we can sell the fireworks runes. We can save them. I will save them a bit, because obviously they will go higher in price again when the festival is over. So that's roughly like 6 gold on top of that, so we are like 21 gold already. And we have some food, of course. Let's put the food in the bank as well. You can sell the food, you can also keep it. I will just keep it for now. And we got a lot of the fireworks, which I can use later as well, for example, to level up my masteries fast, so that's not bad either. But we can sell that one. And the runes we also put in the bank. Some chunk here in the bank. And some more of those in the bank. We don't need those. They are like completely worthless. Yeah, not good. We delete those. And more. It's almost only the chunk that we can sell. Very good. And we have a lot of those weapon chests. Sadly, I have all of the skins unlocked because they are account bound on acquire. But I guess better than nothing, you know, having some exotics lying around. Now it's time to sell. Let's see what we get. So we're at 3238. So let's see how much we make. And ooh, that's like pretty much 1.9k gold, something like that. 1.9k gold that we got here directly from the selling the trophies, plus the 21 gold, plus the chests here. And we unlocked one of the skins here, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's pretty much even. It's not like insane. If we would have sold it, it's like, but you have to understand, I got a lot of luck from it, and I also got like the fireworks and stuff like that. So not bad. The luck is also convertible into gold, and that will be a decent amount of gold on top of that, but not like insane value. I could see here, okay, it's like you have to open a lot to make it worthwhile, even with the high magic find. And it's of course RNG based as well. That's what I wanted to show. So, how much gold would you say I'm making average per week? I don't know. You know, at this point, I don't really focus on making gold anymore. So I just play, you know, I do the daily raids, I do some Iceblood Saga strike missions, or Iceblood Saga raid bosses at this point. I don't really do like fractals every day anymore. I just play whenever I feel like it. So I don't know. I would say per week I make probably like something around, depending on how much I play on stream, how much time I have. Of course, I'm always like making content as well. I would say the answer TLDR is probably per week something between 100 to 500 gold. And I'm not even playing that much. It's more like I just use my time efficiently. And let's say roughly, I would say on average probably like 200 gold per week. Because I don't play fractals every week. Nah, maybe it's more. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't look at my gold that often, you know. I have now 5k gold and I just play. I just play and have fun. Because I have everything in the game that I want, so it's just a piling up until you do a giveaway again or something, and then it's like going down and then it's going back up. That's how it works. Something like that. Yeah, the Mortimer fight is actually quite hard, yeah. It's not like really hard, but it's definitely way harder than the Saitan fight for sure. It's a complete opposite. And you also have the challenge mode for the micro achievements, which actually is 5 players. You can also solo it, but it's very hard if you solo it for a new player. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Yeah. Much richer now. I mean, I don't know. I spent it in the first place. I bought this in the first place. So I expected to get some money back. Otherwise, I would not have bought it. Yeah. Can't wait for the SAB. I skipped them last year because I hate jumping passes, but I think I've improved much more. Oh yeah, I'm so bad at jumping passes. It's always for me, probably for me, it's one of the most frustrating festivals because I want to get it done because it's actually fun if you like have the time for it. But I'm so bad at jumping passes, you know? Always when especially the normal mode is completely fine, but the tribulation mode, that's where I really like struggle. Because in the tribulation mode, it's like for me, I know the paths. I know where to jump. I know when to jump. I know everything because I'm good at remembering that. But the execution is failing. It's always like I know what to do, but I fail the execution. It's so frustrating. And after half an hour trying tribulation mode, I often say, okay, I just stop for today. You know, that's typically how my SAB experience goes. That's typically how mine goes. Not saying it's a bad like festival or anything. I'm just saying oftentimes for me it's not the most like fun one to experience. Yeah, so let's go for the Todd Evoker. I wanted to play that a long time. Let's go for that one. Let's see, that's how we set it up here. Do we want it? It's actually quite good here, this trade. Something like that. Let's go that, yes, doesn't matter too much. Yeah, something like that. Want to go for the Todd. There we go. Yes. So I sold, so to say, I opened the Divine Lucky Envelopes. So Divine Lucky Envelopes, I bought roughly pretty much exactly 1.5k of those. So 1,500 of those Lucky Divine Envelopes, which cost me roughly, I don't know, you can calculate yourself, pretty much exactly 1.9k. And then I opened them and I got roughly 1.9k plus a little bit of that back. So something around this, like, that's why I got so much back, because that's the value of this item. It gives you pretty much the same value that if you would sell it. Just some other chunk that you now could see in my bank. So we want to go for Demon Queen Relic. And how long is it here? 3 seconds. That's actually not bad. Traveler Rune, yep. Should we go Dagger or Sword? I really wanted to try a Sword build, but I'm not sure if that's the build for it. Because Sword doesn't have that much Condi. Dagger has a bit more Condi application. And what kind of stats do I want to go for? I mean, Celestial makes sense, but it's a bit boring. Maybe we can go for something that is a bit more exciting. Go for Doom here and Geomancy. Yeah. And here we go for, I guess, also Doom. And Traveler Rune. It's like you can play it like that, I guess. Yeah. Looks okay to me. Looks okay to me. And the Cheesecake Food. Do I even have the Cheesecake Food? I don't even know if I have it. Cheesecake. No, I don't have it. I have the other food from the trading post. I can use also the might food. This one. Gain might on critical hit. Yeah, let's use. No, we want a cheesecake, to be honest. I guess I have to craft it then. Fine, we will run with this one for now. But this is an interesting build for sure. For sure. Still need more boon duration though, I guess. Can we use the rewind thing in SAB? No, you cannot use any other tools from outside of the Super Adventure Box. It's really just Super Adventure Box, nothing else. So it's really like, you are good at jumping, you succeed. You are bad at jumping, you fail, or you need way longer. So that's why it's so painful for me. No tools to actually get better at jumping or save you there. Especially the tribulation mode is very punishing. You know, one misstep and you're on the lava, or you get spiked. It's really painful. But people like that, so it's probably one of the most looked forward to festivals, I would say, for probably the majority of the game. Maybe we get a new world this time, you know, who knows? But I think a lot of new players like the idea of having a game in the game. So I guess that's that. But yeah, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. Oh, we have a 101. Let's test it here. Todd Evoker, CC chaining against the Scourge. The boon output is actually quite good. Why do I have so many boons? Nice. Got the kill as well. Looks good, Bonked, exactly, bonk. No, we don't have any news about the other game that ArenaNet might be developing right now. They might be like telling us at some point about Guild Wars 3 if it will ever come out. They might not even tell us this year. Who knows? We will have to see. Right now, I would say it seems likely that they will announce it this year. but it's like far from like sure. You know, we just know a lot of developers are working on it right now. I don't know if it's Guild Wars 3, if it's some other game, if it's just a different expansion for Guild Wars 2. I don't know. I think it's very unlikely that it is Guild Wars 2 related because it's on Unreal Engine, which is pretty much guaranteed that it's not Guild Wars 2 because Guild Wars 2 doesn't have Unreal Engine. It's a druid. Oh my god, I hate fighting druids in World vs. World. Or in general, like druids are so annoying. They're just CC chaining, they don't deal any damage. So let's maybe get a kill here. Let's see. Oh my god. Ugh. They got me. How many people are there? Too many. They got me. That's too many. Way too many. But it was fun. We actually got a kill here almost. Yeah, fanboys, maybe. Yeah, they were really like, they were chasing me out of the camp, like 5 people. I mean, it's World vs. World, you know. I don't complain about it. As long as they don't like BM me with like siege on me on teabagging or something, I'm completely fine. This is okay. It's just the uneven playing field of World vs. World. That's fine. Yeah, druids are so annoying. You know, the problem with druids is that it's not even that good. It's just like very annoying. CC chaining, stealthing, immobilizing. It's just they are annoyance in a player. You know, that's it. I'm not even saying it's like good. It's just really annoying to fight, especially if they outnumber you, so they have another DPS player with them. Then it can be really scary because they actually, so to say, like CC chain you and immobilize you while the other DPS player is actually killing you. Yeah. Classic World vs. World, getting ganked at a camp. Yeah, it's just World vs. World. I don't complain, you know. It's like I play this game out because it's fun. I want to get some outnumbered montages where I maybe get even kills or something. But oftentimes if you see a montage on YouTube about someone actually killing like people in a 1v3, there are as many montage clips that they didn't show where they actually died in a 1v5. You know, that's just how roaming works. And you are grinding for the single good montage moment. And I mean, that's also fun because if you get it, it's really amazing. But oftentimes you just need to wait for it a bit. But it's fun nonetheless. You can improve. You can try to get better while playing. So I'm happy. I'm happy either way. Any recommendations on what expansions to buy? I'm missing Visions of Eternity, Chandra Waltz, and Secrets of the Obscure. It depends a bit of what you need. So I would say out of those 3, they are all decent with the starting maps. They are not that good when it comes to their, like how it continues with their maps. So if you're an open world player, I think probably Visions of Eternity might be the most interesting one right now from the open world perspective. But you get also the least amount of maps right now. So, and they have elite specs. So the elite specs are the biggest selling point of Visions of Eternity. I personally would also say that the legendary armor and the rifts from Soto and the weapon mastery carries it probably from the features to be the best one to purchase in general. If you want to have the meta builds going and stuff like that, you often want to have that. But the spears from Chandra are also really good. So I personally would say it heavily depends what you want. So some classes don't need the spear to have a good build. Mesmer, Power Mesmer for example, has Greatsword or Sword to use. If you don't have Soto or Chandra it's fine. But the spear is very fun. I think all of them have their value. I really do. So choose what you want first. But in the end, if you play the game for another 5 years, I think at some point you want to purchase all of them. Just because they all deliver value and fun, I would say. But if you catch your counter build, you suck in a 1v1. That is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah, that's just World vs. World, you know? I think, like, I always mention that when it comes to World vs. World, what's the best roaming build and stuff like that. It's always like rock, paper, scissors. You have builds that counter a Condi build because they have like insane amount of Condi cleanses and you will never lose against the Condi build. But then you have builds that just have no condi pressure at all, but burst you down with like direct damage. Maybe that's exactly what your build cannot deal with, and then this is so to say the rock for your scissors, so to say. It's like it always happens, and there is some kind of counter to everything. Yeah, the Sky Soto, good point. That's also really valid like thing to get it for sure. I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, just buy all of them using my referral link, of course, if you want to support me. But no, I'm obviously joking. I think all of them have their value. None of them is perfect, especially when it comes to the content. I think all of them have disadvantages in their content. You know, Chant Wilds, for example, the story is pretty meh, let's say. And then you have the Visions of Eternity story, which is, in my opinion, quite decent. But Visions of Eternity has, so to say, only 2 maps right now, so you get less for your money. For now, it will increase over the time, but it's not that much. So it's like every single expansion has a bit of a drawback. Like, it's just how it is. Like, they are not perfect. I think not even the old expansions are perfect. Yeah. Ooh, we have a player, a druid again. Oh my god, they really want to annoy me. And it's a stealth druid with a spear. Okay, I mean, we can try to pull them a bit out of their field. Okay, you just try to kill the enemies here. It's a bit annoying with the enemies to fight the druid as well at the same time. Let's get some damage down. Oh, the Condis. Condi druid with a spear. This is a celestial druid or something. Like, oh my god. I mean, we get a kill here, I think. Okay, I think we got them here. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, I hate fighting druids. Druids is really like most annoying spec to fight. Maybe with like some kind of like minstrel harbinger or something like that exists as well. Yeah, but like world versus world roaming is always who has the more annoying build to fight. Mine is also very annoying. I have to admit that. I just play it myself. That's why it's not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Good point by John. It's not confirmed that the game is about Unreal Engine 5, but you have to have experience in Unreal Engine 5, so they might be working on something that is not Unreal Engine 5. But it seems at this point quite often that the blog postings are asking specifically for people that worked with Unreal Engine 5 before, so that they actually can get some, they have some really clear wording there in like if you look at them. So it's really, it could still be the case, yes, but I think it's very unlikely that they are working on an in-house engine and not the Unreal Engine. That's my prediction there. Yeah, they currently have sales going on. That's a good point, yeah. If you want to purchase the expansions, right now is a rather good time to do that. Oh, we have another one? No, there we go. Yeah, so if you want to purchase any expansion, right now is a good time. I think 40% off of most of them, so that's good. But every expansion has their value. You just have, I made a whole like tier list about the expansions where I talked about them very concisely and giving you all the arguments for or against the specific expansions, but none of them is perfect. Like, especially the 3 that you mentioned, the last, so to say, 3 expansions, the yearly expansions, they are all having their issues. It's just like, they all have really good value as well. Just get the one that you get the most value right now. That's what I will say. Will there be at any point a starter kit Generation 2? I doubt it, to be honest. I think they want to get you started on legendaries in the Generation 1, because that's, so to say, the oldest legendaries, and they want you to keep playing the other maps. So, for example, Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire maps for the Unbound Magic and for the exploration and stuff like that. And they want to make it so that they have a sync for the materials that you specifically need for the Generation 2. Maybe with the next expansion, if there is one, maybe they will introduce the Generation 2 starter kit. But to be honest, I think they have now 10 seasons or something of starter kits for Generation 1. So I think they could have done it already, but they didn't. So I think at this point it seems unlikely that they will do Generation 2 starter kits. 12 minutes of story at the end of EOD? I did not know that, actually. Yeah, it's a long dialogue, yeah. But 12 minutes, that's long, yeah. I mean, I never replayed it, so I would not know. But that sounds horrible average, yeah. Yeah, Druid is annoying, for sure, for sure. Is it rough to put time in Guild Wars 2? Scared it dies? I mean, Guild Wars 2 will live, even if Guild Wars 3. I will mention it every stream, every time this comes up. Even if Guild Wars 3 is real and it will come out in, let's say, 3 years, let's say 2028, it's the beta or whatever, yeah? If it comes out then, Guild Wars 2 will not die. They said that explicitly, ArenaNet, that they want to maintain Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 as long as the studio exists. So it will always be updated, it would always be, so to say, maintained. So if you are scared that Guild Wars 2, if you invest time into Guild Wars 2 right now, that you might not get enough for your money, this is not like an issue in my opinion, because the game will continue to work to be played for 10 years. And if you like it, and you might not like Guild Wars 3 when it comes out, if it comes out, how it even is called, I don't know, then you can still play Guild Wars 2 and they will still have content for you there. So don't be scared. And even if you want to swap to Guild Wars 3, if it will ever come out, that's not an issue as well, because like I said, it's still at least 2 years away from being released, if it is ever released. I don't have any information here, it's just my guessing at this point. So hopefully that makes it clear. Do you think they should give us another way to acquire Gift of Exploration? Yes, I think so. Gift of Exploration and Gift of Battle should be, so to say, giving you a different option as well. Oh, we have here, nice, we have a Reaper. That's an easy target. Especially one that is AFK. Let's get the kill then. Sorry, it's just how it works. If you're AFK, I will kill you. Sorry. Let's get some buff wood off. What do we want here? This one. Very good. Since launch passes on sale, are they worth it now? Would you recommend any of them? I think one of them, yes. I would recommend one of them. Choose the one that you like the most. I personally would say going for one of them is worth it, yes. I have multiple of them, so I can tell you which ones I like the most. So the Armistice Bastion one is the World vs. World one. It has some really good features if you like World vs. World. You have the World vs. World balance, you have some golems there, you can test some stuff there. So if you're a more competitive minded player, this is probably one of the best ones. If you're more PvE player, I would recommend Mistlock Sanctuary Pass. This is really good because it has fractal entrance, it has really like everything all together. It's really easy to jump around, it's really fast, really like close. That's what I like. If you like fishing, I think the 1000 Seas Pavilion Pass is probably the best then, because there are some fishing things there. But those three are for me personally the best. Back in the old day, the like Divinity's Royal Terrace Pass or whatever was also really good, but it's a little bit nowadays power grabbed by the Mistlock Pass. But I think everything is like completely fine. Everything has almost all the features. It's more about the aesthetics and the usability, yeah. So I personally would recommend the Mistlock Pass for most PvE players, and for World vs. World players, I think if you want to have the map chat, if you want to have the golems and stuff like that, then typically I would recommend going for the Armistice Bastion one. But it's more like nitpicky at this point. I think for most players, the Mistlock Pass is probably good enough, yeah. And then you're fine. You don't need all of them because they don't deliver more value, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They will also do maybe a Hall of Monuments, maybe even more than for Guild Wars 2. So I think it might be like you have to get a lot of legendaries, a lot of achievement points, a lot of like skins unlocked, whatever titles, and that might give transfer to some extent in the new game. Yeah, exactly. And exactly. I think it's Guild Wars 1 is like still alive, even though it didn't get updates for the last 5 years until like half a year ago. So it's like Guild Wars 1 is like the best example of how Guild Wars 2 will actually like look when there is a new game coming out. At least in my opinion, yeah. I get the Heart of Thorns one and I randomly do Pinata whenever I get the shouts there. It makes sense. I mean, that's also fine. I mean, the Heart of Thorns one, can you purchase that? Yeah, I guess you can, because it came from the Deluxe Edition, I think. And the Deluxe Edition is obviously an upgrade to your Heart of Thorns purchase. But it's a Path of Fire one, you mean? Yeah, the Path of Fire one. is the Pinata one. Yeah. Yeah, Bastion is nice. Bastion looks definitely nice. It's not for everyone though. Like I said, it's like not as close together. You have the teleporters, but it's not as close together as the Mistlock one. So I would say for most players, the Mistlock one is probably the best pickup. Yeah. My friend and I like duo PvP together. Are there any specs that work well together? There are almost every spec works well with another spec. If you have two people communicating, that's always better than not having communication at all. So I would say typically, like right now, Paragon is really good. If you have a support Paragon and maybe some kind of like power conduit, is insane to carry the team fights in PvP. It's extremely valuable. If you want to cover multiple nodes, then one Sprucer Paragon on the side node and maybe another Paragon carrying the team fight with healing. That can be really good. I think you should just pick the meta builds right now and choose the ones that you enjoy the most out of those. And it's always a good pairing. It's not really like you don't have to min-max and have to say, okay, if you play a Conduit with a Spectre, it's insane. It's more like you should enjoy the builds and you should have fun playing them and play around their strengths together, and you will probably succeed. It's way more about understanding what your builds can and cannot do than just picking two that are really good together. Because in the end, every single two builds work well together if you communicate well. Hope that helps. Can you explain how World vs. World points rewards are changing? Yes, I can. So, World vs. World currently gives the team every single tick, so every 5 minutes, depending on their currently possessed, or not possessed, but like owned. Thanks, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Gasunkelnut. Sorry for butchering your name. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the prime. So every single tick you get, depending on the objectives you have, the team gets points. So currently I'm Fortune's Well, so I get 57 points because we have 2 keeps and stuff like that. This will change with the next update in 2 weeks. That will make it so that you not get points, your team doesn't get points for, so to say, holding the objectives, but gets points for actually killing players, for getting the objectives, capturing it, and stuff like that. Yes, right now you already get points if you kill enemies, but this will be more pronounced later. So it's more about active gameplay than just holding it. I am a bit concerned that people are not incentivized to hold caps anymore. They just want to like get new things, and you will just have like some kind of karma train running around the map for getting objectives. But if they balance it decently well, this is a system that encourages more active gameplay, because you need to actively capture something, you need to actively, so to say, destroy siege, actively kill enemy players to get points, instead of just holding something for 10 hours straight to get the waypoint in there. I hope that makes sense. That's the reward, that's the scoring update. That doesn't change how much like participation and gold and stuff you get from World vs. World. That's untouched. It's just the scoring update. But the scoring update comes with some kind of beta, and this will also include some rewards, and they will also update when the beta is, so to say, over and they're happy with how it worked. They will also introduce some skirmish and whole week rewards at the end of the match, or at the end of the skirmish. So if you are the top team at the end of the match or at the end of a skirmish, you might get, I don't know, finisher, might get some kind of, I don't know, gold reward, maybe some kind of title, temporary, who knows, something, yeah? Something, and that will come when they are happy with their implementation. So that is probably still like months away. But the scoring update will happen on the 27th of February. So exciting times for World vs. World players, but not like insane like reward changes yet. Coming in March and stuff, then we get the World vs. World accessory in May. So there will be more stuff coming, but it's just the beginning on the end of February. Hope that makes sense. But I felt that I only spoke about the team points and not our reward system. Yeah, it's true. The reward system is the main feature that they will change. So the scoring thing is the main thing they change. But like I said, there will be some reward updates in there. So we will get infinite utility and food primers from World vs. World members. We will probably get some kind of achievements for participating in the beta event. We will also very likely get news about the World vs. World accessory at some point, how we can acquire it and stuff. Legendary accessory from World vs. World, which is currently not possible because currently you can only get the conflux, so the ring from World vs. World and the back piece. You cannot get any accessory from World vs. World. So that's something that will come and that will be probably bound to the World vs. World updates coming in the future. Hope that answers your question there. So will roaming actually be worthwhile for rewards now? I'm not sure if that will be like the focus, but I think that should be on their mind. You know, I have to be honest, I am a bit skeptical when it comes to making roaming relevant for the big scoring and system and skirmish and match rewards, but I would like that. I think roaming is a really integral part of how exciting capturing camps, destroying supply lines and stuff like that can work out. It's just I feel like they often ignore it a bit too long. So I hope they will like introduce rewards for roaming specifically and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the players, like I mentioned earlier on stream, I think it's quite likely that most players engage mostly with surging and don't really care about roaming. So I think it's hard to find a balance there to make it so that players that want to roam get rewarded, but at the same time you also want to get players in Zergs not feeling forced to roam if they don't like it. So you have to make it so that it's like both the best of both worlds. And I don't know how they will do it, but it's definitely, I think it should be addressed here, because I think killing players and making less about holding but more about capturing camps, killing siege and stuff like that, looks to me that roamers actually get more power. Yeah. Not sure if that's the case. We will have to see the numbers there. Maybe they just make a change that in the end is not really changing a lot. But that's just my impression here. My impression. And we will have to see. You know, this was a blog post and I'm happy that we got it, but it didn't tell us like the details about it. It just told us they are like changing something about World vs. World scoring and the rewards behind it at some point, but they didn't tell us the details. And I think the details are very important to make a really justified analysis what is good, what is not good. Because just telling us what they want to change doesn't really give the whole picture, at least in my opinion. But I mean, what are your thoughts? You know, are you liking the changes or the ideas behind it, or do you think that's not helping at all? I don't know. Everybody has a different approach on this topic. Is it hard to maintain 3D characters in this game? No, not at all. Not at all. I have 70 and it's not maintaining at all. So don't worry, you can do that. And is Engineer better than Deadeye for rifle builds? No, I would say so, yeah. Right now, Mechanist with rifle is extremely strong in PvE. Deadeye is good with a rifle, but it's not like insanely good. It's working and does a good job, but it's more like competitive modes favored, I would say. And the only thing I enjoy about World vs. World is roaming. Surging is too brain dead and not so skill based, but in low level in World vs. World I just roam for years. I mean, that makes sense, you know. I most of the time I roam as well. You know, I'm rank 5k or something, so definitely not very high rank either. It's just like I roam most of the time. So yeah, I can definitely understand it. I think it would be nice to get roamers a bit more power while also getting more rewards for roaming. That would be, in my opinion, the best way to introduce more interesting things for different types of player types. But at the same time, I think you have to balance it well. If one gets overhand and it's only roaming that is relevant, I think that's also not perfect. We want a healthy surging scene and a healthy World vs. World roaming scene, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe they can pull it off. Maybe they can pull it off. Welcome, Taste. Welcome, welcome. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Fastest way to get spirit shots in which event? Open world meta event farming is really good. Like, for example, like just Living World Season 4 maps. Like you can do rift hunting is really good for spirit shots. Kill a lot of mobs there. In general, like just use boosters for PvE. That's it. Use boosters. Halloween event when it's up. Labyrinth farm. Using boosters is extremely valuable in Guild Wars 2. Experience boosters give so much. Oh my god, we have the Amalgam, our counter build. But I think we can kill it. It doesn't have that many Quantic Lenses either, so we can just survive that. Touched my teleport. Not good. Oh my god, there's another one here. Okay, this is a green guy and the other one is a red guy. It's okay. We have one ally. And 2 enemies here. Okay, get some healing out here. Oh, it's way too close. Way too close. We got a kill here. My ally got the kill. That's good. Okay, very nice. Oh, the amalgam. There we go. Capture the camp, kill the amalgam, we're fine. Engineer versus Deadeye. I think for roaming, I would say Deadeye is better with a rifle, but in a circ you can play rifle Engineer probably way better than Deadeye with a rifle. But both of them are not great. They said they would roll back changes if it didn't go well. Yeah, I think that's a smart way to announce it for sure. You want to have it so that they can, if it's not going well, they can go back. You could see that with the fashion templates. Yeah. What is the best way to get more character slots for a new player? The best way is just saving gold and using the convert gold to gems and then getting it when it's on sale. But that's the only way where you can get it without purchasing it in game. That's the thing that you should do. I did that with my 70 characters. I didn't use any real money on that. I just spent my in-game gold. Yeah. Rifle data is extremely good in roaming if you know how to play it, but it's just a roamer. It's not a circ. You never want to play that in a circ. It's not good. Yeah. I've tried both in SPVP and Engineer seemed more forgiving. I think it depends what you like. You know, some people like to engage and disengage all the time, then Thief is better. Engineer is more of an honest pick. Thief is very, so to say, annoying and skill-based, and Engineer is also skill-based, but Thief is more like knowing the matchups, knowing how to play as your class. So it's like not everybody's favorite. So if you don't like this playstyle, you will not be good at it either. You have to really enjoy this playstyle as well. Yeah, exactly. Data is squishy. Exactly. Is Luminary good in PvP? I would say Luminary is decent. It's an A-tier build now. It's not like a giga broken build anymore because we have nerfs to it and other builds got buffed. But in my opinion, if you like Luminary, it's still a very good support in PvP. It's a good DPS build, but it's not as bunkers as it was before. I would say right now, top tier meta picks is something like Paragon and some other niche builds like Daredevil is actually really good, stuff like that. It heavily depends what kind of role you want to fill though, but I would say Paragon probably right now, Evoker, and what's the last one? Conduit, Power Conduit specifically, those are really, really good in the current meta, yeah. My guild said there is a pack with a copper fat, salvage magic, terrestrials, and mining tools. Should I wait to go for it on sale? It depends. You know, you never know when the sale is happening for a pack like that. So I would personally say if you need the copper fat right now and you have the gold, I think it's worthwhile to get it when it's there. Is it currently on sale, the copper fat? No, I don't think so. Not yet. It might come on sale though very soon. Because they have some change, in February and March, they often have big sales. March sales, stuff like that. So I think it's worthwhile to get the copper fat as soon as possible if you don't have it, just for the quality of life, and it also is saving you money in the long run. So I think it's better to get the gems now and then purchase it as soon as you have the option to do so and it's on sale. I think it's very worthwhile. And not waiting for the whole kit. It's if the kit is there, sure, go for it, the whole package. But if not, that's fine as well. Yeah. Are Living World seasons on sale sometime? Yes. Sometimes they go on sale. I can't tell you when is the next time that it will happen though. But it's in my opinion, if you want it right now, it's still a worth it buy. You know, they are not that expensive. But of course, if you want to get the most for your money spent, then it's definitely worthwhile to wait for the sale. Will Amalgam Spear work with a power build? It can, but it's not the best option. I think it's for Engineer, play Hammer or play Rifle if you play power, and if you play Condi, play pistols or play Spear. It's really, I would not recommend a Spear on a power build in most of the cases. But if you really like to, sure, go for it. It's not the worst. Yeah. Yeah, Ranger with a Rifle would be interesting, for sure. Very interesting. what's the purpose of killing the veterans? So those also give world versus world experience. Those normal mobs that are just randomly across the map, they don't help giving you anything. But the veterans like the Harpy, the Walk, and the Ghosts here, they give you world versus world experience. That's why I'm killing them. And typically I want to roam, I want to get 1-on-1s and stuff like that. But if there's nothing to do, then I can also increase my world versus world XP while I'm already like on the map. So I'm killing the walks and stuff. That's the idea here. Yeah. Is the Todd Evoker build the new meta? Yeah, I think this is the new build that you play if you want to have the most annoying build and the strongest one at that. It's not like the Lightning Rod version is bad, not at all. It's just a little bit like not as tanky and not as, so to say, flexible, or has not as much utility as this one. I think this one is just pulling ahead in more cases than the other one. But if you like the air variant, go for the air variant. Both of them work very well. I love spear skills for Amalgam, but it just takes forever for Condi to cleave the downed enemies. Yeah, I think the Amalgam is in all game modes, if you play with a spear, is played as some kind of hybrid build. It has some power damage and some Condi damage. So especially in competitive modes, you typically play Condi-based Amalgam that also does some power damage. And I can really agree with you that Amalgam is not the perfect spec if you want to cleave down enemies, if you just want to get like kills fast and stuff like that. But it's a really good Condi spec, like extremely good. So Amalgam is like not like for everybody, but it's a good one. And if you like it, then Spear is a very solid option, even if you want to play power. It's just better with Condi, in my opinion. Nice, we have him. We have them here. Is it a hammer catalyst with a signet build? That's interesting. Very interesting. I mean, let's go and try some Amalgam in PvP. I haven't played it in a long while, so you made me like want to play it again. Where is my engineer? I never can find my characters. Big problem. What's the point of world versus world experience? So world versus world experience is just in the end a way to get a bit more gold, and in the end, if you reach 10k rank, you will get the title World versus World, or God of World versus World. It's just increasing the gold in the short term, and in the long run, it gives you just a bit more, like, I don't know, achievements. That's mostly it. It's not really something that you can say, oh, it gives you a nice skin or something. It's just the title, and the World versus World rank will also increase your passive, how is it here, pip income. If you have a really high rank, you get more pips per tick, so it increases your gold again. So World versus World level is quite nice if you can get it as high as possible, but it's not urgent. Yeah, there were some daily quests, yeah, that is true, with the veterans. That is true. And it's fun, The World versus World has gold. I'm working on a video right now talking about how much gold you can actually get from just playing World versus World. It's really underrated. It really is. You will be shocked if I put out this video. It requires a lot of, like, so to say, setup and the video itself that I can really prove that this is the case. But I'm working on it, and if it comes out, you will be shocked how much gold you actually get from World vs. World. It is really underrated. Yeah, all those characters, exactly. Hi, I really like your videos. How many characters do you have? I have 70 characters right now and 73 slots or something. I just use them mostly for storage and different builds. So for example, this is my PvP engineer, I have a PvE engineer, and I have a World vs. World engineer and stuff like that. Oh my god. Push! Glad you think so, Prismo. Thanks. Appreciate it. So, I don't want to play this here. What do I want to play here? I want to play some Spear Evoker. Push is like, you want to play Spear, Elementalist with a Spear on push is because the AoE is like, you cleave them down on the point like crazy. You will see that when we hopefully get a good match here. So, Spear. Is that the correct build here? Just checking. Yes, looks like it. Spear, everything spear. Very good. Yep.
Okay, let's have some fun on Spear Evoker. I would say, yes, you're right. If you want to gold farm, like 50 gold per hour, World versus World will not reach this number. But it is surprisingly high. A lot of players will never reach 50 gold per hour in PvE anyways. So most players get 20 gold per hour in PvE if they do a gold farm like, I don't know, silver vase or like meta events and stuff like that. And World versus World will get this number as well. You just have to know how. You will see that. I will not tell you more than that, but it's really like the number is quite close to this as well. You just have to know how to do it. But like I said, the video, I will explain everything in the video and prove it as well. So you will see. Yeah, I mean, you might disagree, but hopefully my points in the video where I prove it will show you that this is the case. Yeah. Yeah, this is push. You have to, like, it's like, so to say, push the card to the enemy base and like try to not die. That's it. Power Mirage is so hard to play right now, but I love it. Yeah, it's Power Mirage is like a hard build for sure. My god, my team has to go in here. So let's get some cleave down here. My team went in and instantly died. That's a little bit sad there. We have to get the cleave here if we don't want to let them rally. Okay, we at least got the counter kill here. Okay, get the cleave, get the cleave. No man, we got the kill, but then we died afterwards. That's a bit unlucky. Where's my team? I mean, we got a lot of damage done. I really hate it if I have to play aggressive because my team is not capturing the node. It's really annoying. I mean, this is sadly lost, I think. Welcome, Swissair. Welcome, welcome. Okay, this is the dead Holosmith, dead Amalgam Radar. There we go. Got them. Now we have to make sure that they don't get the cleave here. Get the kill. Nice, we got the rally. This is the comeback. This is the comeback. I tell you now. Oh my god, I hate fight. Nice, we got the kill here. Please, please get the rally. Please get the rally. Nice, we got the rally. We got the rally, and hopefully we now get the kill here as well. It's a bit annoying that my team is not standing on node that much. Okay, this guy should be dead now as well. Hopefully, catch this attack. Oh my god, it's power renegade. This guy is, yeah, I think now it's lost. Do we have an AFK or what? No, my teammate is just like on the other side of the map. Ah, too much damage, too much damage. It's not lost yet, but it looks dire, looks dire. Yeah, Spear is so good on push. Like, it doesn't matter if you play Tempest, Weaver, Catalyst, or Evoker, all of them are really, really good. Spear is the carry thing, yeah. Power Mirage? Power Chrono is better in like PvE. Power Mirage doesn't really work that well. It's really like you should play Power Chronomancer and Condi Mirage. That's what you typically play. So how many kills do we get here? 1. One, maybe? Yep, there we go. 1 is down. Okay, so we want to... Oh my god. So annoying. No one is on the card. Oh my god, they push it. So sad. I think I should have played Amalgam in this one. Because no one is standing on the node. That's the big problem here. Well, I get the sneaky self-res here, I guess. Okay, we got another one. The knockback was annoying. I would have casted my lightning etching here. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. The weakness killed me there. Sad. What's the map size in Pinata event map? Always full. So it's, I think, like you typically have around 60 to 70 slots on PvE maps that are, or no, it's actually higher in some of the maps. It's more than a squad for sure. So it's something around this number. I know it's like for PvP, for World versus World rather, it's like 50 around this number. Sad. Sad. Top player damage. I take that though. Yeah, 40% damage almost. Yeah, not working, sadly. Yeah, Power Chrono is better in PvE because it's like Mirage is really like they nerfed so much. It's really a Condi build now. It's you play it as a Condi build, has a lot of damage if you play as a Condi build, but if you play it as a like power build, it's more niche. Power Chrono is always good. Yeah. Yeah, we could have won that, but my team was really not standing on node, and I did not play the build to stand on node either, and that's not helping. So if I would play at Amalgam there, I think that would have been better, but it's always about like, you have to have 1-2 people on the node and a couple of other people really trying to pressure the other targets. So you don't want to have 5 squishies that none of them can stand on the node there. That's really like a classic Conquest match is rather similar to Push in that regard. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Always happy to help. But, you know, you should choose the class that you like. So if you want to play Power Mirage, it's not a bad build. I'm just saying Power Chronomancer is, in my opinion, way more made for being played as a power build than Mirage is. Power Mirage is really good in PvP though, or in World vs. World as a roamer. So if you want to play in competitive modes, that is a really good one right now. Yeah, exactly. The Power Chrono, the last video was nice. It's a really good build. I like it, yeah. Instead of a full Celestial or full Black Doctor Spectre, would mixing in Black Doctor pieces with Celestial armor be good as well? Sure. I mean, Guild Wars 2 is never about having to pick a single stat and using that in every single gear slot. You can always mix and match. And mixing, especially Celestial with Black Doctor, is a really solid choice because you get some value from the defenses of Celestial, while you get the value of the stats that you might want with Black Doctor more as well. Yeah. I would say support Spectre or like offensive support Spectre, because you still deal condition damage with the specific build that you're mentioning there, is a really good like option. It's not a build that I would say is like carrying you with insane healing. You know, it's like if you want a crazy amount of healing output, then I would go for full Harriers or full Givers or something. But in 90, let's say 8% of the cases, like going for Celestial with Black Doctor mix or something like that is good enough, because Spectre healing and barrier is insane as it is, and having damage with the condition damage backed in is crazy good. Like I would say for most players in PvE, that would be an improvement if you play Spectre. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so good comment there. Yeah, definitely mix and matching is not a problem, maybe even an improvement depending on what kind of role you want to fill. Yeah, always happy to help. Yeah, so that's all, so to say, about like, even if you play a build, like for example, good example is Ritualist. You know, Ritualist is a build that right now, the meta build, as far as I know, if you play a quickness DPS Ritualist, uses full Berserker gear. Yeah? Or maybe some assassin pieces in there, but it's full aggressive. There is no boon duration in there. But if you know that you struggle with boon uptime in fights because you just don't know the rotation perfectly, it's harder to maintain because it's not that, like, so to say, high radius and stuff like that. Oftentimes it's worthwhile to invest a bit of stats, so to say, going for a different food, going for a different amulet, just to make the stats, maybe diviner stats, get some boon duration and make it a bit more safe to keep the boons up 100% of the time. Because if you play a quick DPS build that is really good damage output, but you only have 80% of the quickness uptime for your party, that's not good. Then you failed your role and you will lose way more damage than if you would go for a different stat a little bit. Yeah, not the full diviner set, just a little bit. That is definitely like worth to mention for newer players and even veterans that don't notice that. It's really, some builds overcap like crazy on the boons, but some builds struggle a bit with the uptime, and then getting a bit more boon duration in helps. It's just one example. Yeah. Playing Power Mirage PvE has taught me a lot about the game. a lot of downstat, but it's made me more mindful of skill use, timing, and spacing. Yeah, I think Power Mirage is a really fun concept in all game modes. I personally still don't understand why they nerfed it so much in PvE, but yes, I'm with you there. I think Power Mirage is like very squishy, and as you have to use your dodge for dealing damage, you cannot use your dodge that, so to say, passively or defensively and can't save it for situations that is like normally you just dodge. In a lot of cases as a Power Mirage, you use your dodge for damage. Then you have to dodge for damage after that, and then you might not have the dodge up when you actually need to dodge and to wait an attack. So it teaches you being mindful where to stand, when to actually adjust your rotation, because sometimes you just want to have double dodge up in some rare situations. So yeah, I'm with you there. I think playing a class that is squishy teaches you a lot about the game. Maybe might be a bit like, so to say, you don't feel great about it at first because you die a lot, but it teaches you a lot about how to survive. You know, if you play a really tanky like Guardian Warrior spec that has a lot of HP, a lot of armor and stuff, baseline, and you don't die, then a lot of times it's like you don't notice doing small mistakes. But if you're playing like a really squishy Elementalist, if you're playing really squishy Power Mirage, then you notice the small mistakes sum up over time and you will try to not repeat them. And that will teach you to get better at the game in more ways than you would get better if you play a more like defensive build. Yeah. Okay, so what do we do here? We have not that much damage, so what do we do here? What, they have a Power Mirage? We could play some Paragon. Yeah, let's go for some support Paragon. We didn't play that much as well. Let's play some support Paragon. Meta of the meta. Top tier pick here. So let's go for that. But as usual, if you have any questions, just ask. You know, always happy to answer them as well. So what do we have here? No, not this one. We don't want the side non build. We want the support build. That's what we want. So support Paragon, really, really classic pick. Check if my settings are correct. So support Paragon, really good defenses, like a lot of like healing for allies, stability output, Condi cleanse, you have like barrier, you have like CC, you have self defenses with like resistance, passive healing to yourself. It's such a good build. It really is. Even quickness for your allies. It's really good. Like support Paragon, extremely valuable. I don't know how it works out if my team is actually making use out of the support, but I want to show different builds every single stream and match. So hopefully that is somewhat entertaining. See how it goes. Okay, I mean, you have, what is this, a Power Reaper or Condi Reaper? As a staff. Looks more like a Condi Reaper then, but not sure. Would also be Condi, a power. We have a Daredevil, an Amalgam. Okay, I mean, not sure. Not sure. We have to team fight with them and see how it goes. No, it's a Power Reaper, I think. Pretty sure it's a Power Reaper. Okay. Some healing out for my ally here. It's just a bit hard if they run away all the time, but it's fine, we got there. Some barrier out, some healing. I don't have a block. I always like, I'm so sad to see that, but I have no block anymore on my staff 5. Okay, we got the healing. And now we push far, maybe? No, we don't really want to push far. We lost our 1-on-1 at close, or 1v2, I don't know. Okay. Interesting. It's a power luminary. That's okay. We take those. Antiquary. The old Antiquary build. I'm not so sure if that's still good, my friend. Okay. Very good. We got a decap. I just really want to like let my teammates. Okay. I mean, my teammate got a kill here. I try to hold the node here for a bit, but my team has to help me. Very good. I think they're here. Okay, nice. We got a kill even. Very good. I think it looks decent. We have all the nodes. We have a contested mid. Where do we go? Now, I guess we're going far now because they're all on respawn, so we help our thief there. Help my thief. Maybe we can even hold the node then. Oh, in Rampage. That's a bit annoying. Okay, must see. Invulnerability, very good. What was the hardest spec for you to learn? Ooh, that's a tough question. What is the hardest spec for me to learn? Probably like, That's a tough one. I would probably say one of the hardest specs to really learn is probably Weaver. Not necessarily because Weaver is hard as a spec, but it has so many skills to learn. So oftentimes you just like Weaver is like you have to read like 40 skills when you start playing the class, and that's like normally you have to read 20. So it's like you definitely notice the big difference in terms of skills. I think after that, I think any engineer build with like multiple kits is always a challenge. Like engineer builds, like if you have three different like kits in this thing, that can be a bit annoying to learn. Oh my god, so much damage. Greeting for the point here. Yeah, I should not stay on point against the power holosmith that long. That's fine. Should also be with the team in the first place. Yeah. By the way, is Spear Amalgam good for doing stories? And in terms of clearing multiple mobs, I think Amalgam is good like for almost anything in Guild Wars 2, yeah. With Spear, it's just a really good build. Might not be the fastest at killing like mobs, that is like for easy mobs, but it's a decent build like for hard content. It's probably one of the best hard content solo clear builds out there. Oh, can we get the... No. Barely made it. At least I could cancel my banner, but I almost got the rally here for my allies. They have so much damage. Got the rally. Nice, the rally, very good. How many people are here? Holy moly. And the CC chaining. Oh my god. Ugh. I really want to get out of here. How many people are here? I mean, at least I survived. Very good. There we go. Got the pull. Do you think they will ever change the boon system so people don't have to stick it to each other in World vs. World? I think it's easier to change in World vs. World than in PvE because it's not as like alacrity and quickness is not as abundant as it is in PvE. But I think I don't really see it. I think stacking is such a core like thing about Guild Wars 2 and in World vs. World as well. You want to stack on tech, you want to negate damage from others, you want to make sure that your healing is contributed to allies that are directly next to you and don't waste it on not having allies around you. I don't know. I think they should try to do it, but I personally don't see it happening, to be honest, in my opinion. I think boons are just too integral in all game modes to adjust this like stacking issue. I really do. Is 50k the new normal? I guess it is. I guess it is, yeah. support for allies, I guess. Oh, this corrupt is annoying. Nice, we got some healing out. They have a lot of this. See, can we get the banner? Maybe. Yeah, I die for it, but I get the banner. You know, that's the true support. At least, no, please don't die on me here. Yeah, give me the get out. That's good. That's good. How does Willbender compare to Luminary after the nerfs? So, Luminary is, in my opinion, in competitive modes, just better right now. It's just stronger. It got nerfed, yes, but Willbender is, in my opinion, just doing the job a bit worse. In PvE, that's different. In PvE, you can play like a Condi Willbender very well. You can play even a Power Willbender very well. I think they all have their really good use cases. In PvP and World vs. World, I think Luminary is just the king right now. That's just how they balanced it. Yeah, I hope that might change, but for now, that's just how it is. Do we have to help our allies here? No, we should rather go for the cap instead. What's the most versatile weapon for the first legendary? Spear, for sure. Like, every class can use a spear. And I think after that, every class can use a sword as well. But of course, they need to have some kind of... You need to have all the expansions to make that work. So I would say sword and spear is probably the most versatile weapons in terms of weapon combos. So maybe we can get decap here. Yeah, that's what I would recommend, but I think you should always think about what classes do I play, what builds do I play, and then you can go from there. Because of course it doesn't make sense to go for a spear because every class can use it, but all the builds that you play don't use a spear, then you don't get value from the spear nonetheless. So, yeah. Sword and spear, every class can use it exactly. Greatsword can be used by like, I think 6 classes. Engineer and Mesmer, Engineer and what's the Elementalist and Thief cannot use it. So you have only 6 classes that can use it. So it's okay, but it's not the best. Oh my god, they have so much damage. They just deleted my health bar. Okay, I got out, that's good, but I used almost all my cooldowns. So there's that. Interrupted the jump. There we go. Take it, take it, take it. Some healing. We are still like ahead, but barely. We have to be a bit more like careful here. Okay, some healing. Maybe our thief gets some value out of our healing here. Some big healing output, hopefully. Yeah, always happy to help. If you have any questions, I always try to answer them. I cannot promise you anything though. You know, sometimes I just don't know it or just have not enough information. That's fine. And then I will also tell you that. Let's get the decap here. Yeah, nice, we got the kill. Let's get the decap and hopefully we push far, I guess. Now we help our thief here, maybe. Yeah, we should push far and help them stop the respawn. How many people are now here? Like 3 people? What support builds would you recommend for someone getting into the first time lanes in Fractals? I think Troubadour is a really good one to start with. It's extremely strong right now. Luminary as well. They are somewhat easy to learn and I would say like high impact. But you should like tell me your class that you want to play because every class has a really good support build right now. You just should play the one that you like the most from the from your class perspective. I get some healing here. But yeah, that's my tip here. But I personally would say Troubadour for me would be my choice. Troubadour or Luminary. Chronomancer is also extremely good, but Troubadour is just more straightforward. Chronomancer is more about knowing everything, the mechanics and when to swap utility skills. Troubadour is just brute forcing it. You just have a lot of stability, a lot of barrier and stuff like that. It's very valuable. Staff can't be only not used by engineers, so it's the ultimate weapon. Yeah, staff is also really good. I like staff. That's why my prediction was actually correct here. Thanks for the bits. Really appreciate it. Nice. Thanks for the bits. Tobio, really appreciate it. But yeah, oh my god, my whole team died. I should not read chat during a PvP match and expect my team to live, I guess. That's a bit like painful. I guess I have to disengage this. We just need 1 cap and we will win anyway. Get the CC, maybe we get the kill here. Barely. Almost. Almost. Barely got away there. Oh my god. Just need 1 cap. We need 1 cap. Just hold it. We win this here. Tell you now. We win this here on this node. We stand here until we won this. Yeah, Paragon is really fun. It has really good healing. And Paragon is also, that's a good point. I forgot Paragon as a healer is extremely good in strike missions as well. I would not say it's the best healer for Fractals though, because it's like, so to say, it doesn't have reflect. It doesn't have perfect like stability output. It's you can have permanent stability on Paragon, but it's a bit, so to say, like it's 1 stack or 2 stacks. So it's not like if you get CC'd multiple times, sometimes this happens in Fractals, that can be a bit painful then. But I personally would say yes, I would recommend Paragon, Luminary or Troubadour. There we go, we did it. How much healing did we have? Holy moly, 500k healing. It was fun. It was a nice showcase actually. Good Paragon output. Good healers in Warrior outside of Visions of Eternity? Yes, you can play Berserker as a healer. Heal Berserker is actually very underrated. It's not as good as Paragon, but it's still a very good healer. So if you like Paragon, then maybe try like how it feels to play a Berserker as well, because you use the same gear, everything the same. The only difference is that you play a Berserker and not Paragon. That's the difference. You use different F skills. That's the difference. Yeah. You can reflect with the mace, yes, but only if you have the trait. There is a trait here, reflect missiles when you are blocking. If you take this trait specifically, you can reflect, but it's not as easy as putting a feedback down or putting a wall of reflection down on Guardian. You know, it's like you have to be in the hitbox and have to reflect, and it needs to be with the mace, with the trait. So it requires a lot of setup. So warriors can reflect, yes. Every class can actually with like a specific relic. But it's so much, so to say, setup to make it work. Then in a lot of cases, it's better to pick another class that has that already like almost baseline. For example, Firebrand has a baseline reflect in its kit with the F3 tome. So yeah, just my point here. But either way, I think that's the end of today's stream. Hope you had a blast. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun talking to you. I wish you all a very nice weekend. Thanks for watching and hope to see you around. See you next week. Take care. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support, of course. See you around.